Good morning, everybody. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to another Boiler Room Trading live market analysis stream, if you may. So good morning, everybody. There's quite a bit to talk about, but to be truthfully honest, since it's Monday morning, it's been extremely hectic and busy. Whenever that's the case, I typically don't get as much time to really do a lot of looking at the market to start the day. There has been quite a few stocks that have moved around this morning. A lot of mention of Bitcoin as Bitcoin continues to go upwards. Dogecoin's on the move, Ethereum's on the move, Bitcoin's on the move. All cryptocurrencies are on the move. All cryptocurrency related stocks are probably moving. So that's sort of a a hot topic for the day. I don't believe Bitcoin's going to run too much further before it sees a resistance, then pulls the market back. So we will talk about that. I did make a post onto YouTube this morning about Bitcoin having a price target of 47,000 to 52,000 now. So the resistance zone should be anywhere from 47 to 52,000 currently. So you have a $5,000 window on Bitcoin, where a lot of times it would end up seeing some sort of resistance. Bitcoin's been a monster in the past, so we'll see how that all happens. But in a little bit, we will discuss Bitcoin. So, good morning. So yes, I was actually going to be on a different channel this morning. Long story short, we're no longer going to be working. Well, sorry, we're not going to be on that channel or on that stream this morning. Basically, in a nutshell. Yeah, so won't be over there. That's okay. So some things changed. Weren't able to do the meeting today. So we will not be there, and that's okay. So we're going to be here full time as we normally are. All right. So good morning, Zach. Good morning, everybody. Matt, reloading time, the boy. Mr. Montero, the boy. Mr. Montero, you're actually one of the highest. Like, you comment on our streams the most. I can track who comments the most and like who's most active. And actually, I think you might be like first or second in activity on the chat, believe it or not. That does not give anybody else the need to start typing a bunch of words, okay? Just saying. All right, so we're going to start here with the market. We're going to get rocking and rolling. So for the 71 of you guys in here, thanks for tuning in bright and early as usual. We're going to start here with the market and just kind of see what's going on. I haven't really looked at this since last week. Haven't really looked at anything this morning yet. I don't remember what our last analysis was with the market. I feel like we would have said that was support, watch for the breakdown, but I don't remember. But either way, I still think in a nutshell, you're going to see the market kind of doing just this slow, choppy, grindy trend. And that's the way I assume the market will continue to be until you go through a correction, right? You generally don't have these like just super easy, ripping, trending moves in the market as often as opposed to when they go through a big correction. So my whole thought process market is just let it keep doing this ho-hum, diddly-dum, chop and ride up until you get a correction and it finally sells off to a desired support. Then you can buy the dip, and then you should see a faster, easier trending move to the upside. So each day this analysis is basically just telling you where the chop zone is kind of at. So for now, right, you can see here we have been like just going back and forth, right? And I'll just kind of just show you this real quick. So back and forth, did a little up, did a little down. And then you can see this morning, look at where the market's bounced back up to. It bounced back up to that dotted trend line right there. So essentially the market on the Nasdaq this morning is on 4-hour resistance. Not super big resistance, but we are on resistance, and the market should pull back here. It makes most sense that the market would actually probably pull back to start the day. And then if the market is strong enough, it would come back up and break later. And the reason I say that is because this move up on the Nasdaq this morning would be a first attempt at the market to sort of break back up to the upside for lack of better words. So this is really a first attempt of the Nasdaq at these prices since it fell off from there before. So typically speaking, we would normally see resistance here. So I assume going into the open or through the remainder of pre-market, we'll probably see the market on the Nasdaq dip bearish into the open, if not swing down bearish at the open. Would only be long bias or try to be long bias the market today after it dips towards the open or through pre-market. That's probably the only time I would be long. I wouldn't try to be long now because you're right on resistance. Hasn't really sold off. Doesn't mean it will sell off, but it usually would. So again, first attempt at resistance, you're right on resistance. The market's already started from 365 today, and it's moved up to 368. So it's already made a pretty good move. First attempt at resistance, wait for it to pull back before you'd even consider being long biased the market today, if you're trying to take a new position or something. Okay. Whew. All right, we're going to pop on over to the SPY really quickly. SPY, again, probably pretty much the same. Again, sort of ho-hum, diddly-dum, just kind of grinding up. You will notice that after dips, easy bullish move. After a dip, easy up move. After a dip, easy up move. After a dip, easy up moves. Dip, easy up. Dip, easy up. But then once you get up and usually hit around the regression level or maybe the 0.5s on the plus side, then you kind of go into your chop. So again, I don't really expect easy, fluent, ripping moves from the market. Really just expect ho-hum, diddly-dum on the SPY, just as we mentioned with the Nasdaq. Now the SPY is slightly different, but sort of similar. All right, you will see that we've been going back and forth. All right, back and forth, all the way up. And then we just pulled back on Friday. And then you will notice right now this morning, if we draw a little trend line up, you can see we kind of bounced up. And if we put a horizontal line here, you'll see we have the regression mean, which comes into play at a price of 44.91. We go and look at the chart, you will see that the market has bounced back into this red line, slightly over at times with people putting in orders, but for the most part, most of the price action this morning on the SPY is existing right at about that red line, which we identify as resistance. So I do believe that the SPY is on resistance. It's not quite, yeah, but anyway, so I think the market will try to pull back here on the SPY today, going into the open or at the start of the day. So again, I'm slightly bearish on the market to start the day, just given where the markets are positioned currently, okay? And when I say bearish, it doesn't mean like this whole stock market's just going to come plummeting down. I'm just saying from an intraday view, it would make most sense for the markets to try to be bearish first before trying to be bullish. So could it be a bigger bearish day? Sure. But then we would have to start bearish, bullish traders come into the market, fail the market keeps going down. So ideally, when we sell down today, if bulls aren't strong enough to really reverse the move, then that's where it could turn into more of a cascade effect, right? So to get a cascading, affecting move, then obviously there has to be no buyers in the market. Generally, there's always at least like one attempt to bounce a market on a day. And if that bounce fails, then that's where you might start contemplating and readjusting for maybe a bigger bearish day than you had originally been thinking. So again, slightly bearish market open. Also, for anybody who signed up for the one-to-one mentoring, the way that the program was originally set up was you had to fill out an intake form, then I had to read that intake form, then I had to accept it before you can enroll. That was the issue. I'm changing that setting today. So by tomorrow, I'm basically going to send out new links and all that. So if you did sign up for it, I haven't even responded to your intake form because of what was going on. So basically, just going to restart the whole process again, and then in a couple days, we should be up and rolling perfectly. So appreciate you guys' support on that, and sorry it's taken so long. Let me grab my notebook and write down some of these requests so I don't forget. 1 second. Sold my wife and kids for Bitcoin. Very nice. All right, SPRT. All right, just wrote down a few of those. Now, what we're going to jump into next is we're really going to look at Bitcoin. And the reason I'm just going to jump here without really looking at some of the requests is because this will probably cover a bunch of the questions on the request. So we're just going to immediately jump right here into Bitcoin. So we'll first start by talking about how extremely wrong I was because, I don't think it's really fair as someone who comes on live all the time and makes predictions and analyses to only congratulate himself on the good ones, but not emphasize the shitty ones too. So with Bitcoin, not too long ago, probably I guess I could figure it out. Let's see, it is 7:4. No, it's 8:09. So probably about 3 weeks ago, I posted a video saying when to buy Bitcoin. And really, I wasn't wrong in the sense that if Bitcoin went there, it'd be a good buy. It would have been. It would have been a fantastic buy. So not really wrong in that degree, but wrong in the sense that it never reached that really good buying point. All right. So, and there was something I forgot to mention in that analysis. So we're going to delete all these drawings. We're going to re-go through all of this. And if you guys remember on Friday, I mentioned that this was the dip to buy in the pullback on Bitcoin. Bitcoin was coming back down to retest support levels of trend, and that's where you wanted to dip buy Bitcoin next. So let's delete these drawings. We'll tell you how, where, and why I was bad. So when we look at the 4-hour chart here, ideally, what I was mentioning was we were going for the 2 standard deviation mark, which at the time was down here at 21,000, and on the daily chart, it was down here. And these changed a little bit since then. They were actually a little higher. At the time, it was 25,000 to 22,000. So these 2 red lines I just added to the chart. That's where my desired buy point would have been for Bitcoin the last time. What I didn't mention was if in the event it did break kind of this downtrend, that could cause a pop and a squeeze and the trend would shift. So that was something that I didn't even consider to mention. And of course, it ends up happening. So we wanted a little bit lower. We made a video about it, was very confident that we would see those prices. Nonetheless, it didn't happen. So I got a few hate comments after that, but that's okay. All right, so that was wrong. Now what I'm suggesting is that you will see resistance very soon on Bitcoin. I'm not smart enough, don't know if it's going to be your resistance that creates just a small pullback or a bigger one. I imagine based on the way Bitcoin looks, how we're moving, it's not going to be extremely big resistance, but it's going to be decent. So nonetheless, we're going to give you a new long target / resistance zone. Remember, all long targets are just resistance, right? Because if you buy a stock and you have a target to where it can go to, ideally that's where you would sell. And if it's a good target, it's ideally where a bunch of other people would sell. So ideally, any long target is really your selling target, which is really resistance. So with that being said, I think that the new long target, you've already made most of it, but the target would be from 47,138 to the price of 53,037. So ideally, this is my long / resistance target of the market on Bitcoin for now. All right. And so with that being said, if you look at, and when I say that's the long target, I believe that this is the long target for now. The markets will then pull back. Not that they're not going to go higher than that. I believe they can go higher than that in the future. But for now, this would be where I'd expect that the current leg and bullish move you're witnessing on Bitcoin will end up seeing some resistance and then hesitating. So if in the event you don't already own some Bitcoin or bought some Bitcoin on this drop or in this move, you're starting to get to a relatively high price to buy in relation to its current move. Meaning Bitcoin can stop at 47,000, pull back, then go up to 53,000. It could just pull back at 57,000 slightly, then run up to 53 and then pull back. Or it could just pull back at 57, never really go to 53 and then just kind of hesitate for a while. So that's why it's always best that you're in well before you get to that desired zone. because you don't know exactly how the market's going to react on those zones and those resistances. Sometimes they'll stop at the beginning, sometimes they'll go to the top, sometimes they'll get close to the top, sometimes they'll go just above the beginning and then pull. So it's good to be in well before that, so that even if it stops at the beginning, you don't go red, and so on and so forth. Basically just saying you have to be in early on the move. So where you're at currently on Bitcoin, you're not really getting in early on the move for this current market structure, but you would be getting in early on the move for the next big bull market run, which could be there to come. So for the time being, slightly starting to get a little bearish on Bitcoin given where we're at in this current market structure. But I still think it's going to go up a little. Okay, so that being said, we believe Bitcoin's going to see some resistance pretty soon. Okay, cool. So if that's the case, what do you think is going to happen with MARA? What do you think is going to happen with Riot? So again, I think Bitcoin's going to continue long. I think based on the momentum, we are going to get a little closer to 53,000. That's my opinion. So that being said, I do, and I'm so excited to tell you this because it just like, when I see this, it's just exciting, and I want you to see it the same way I do. Not that you're going to make millions of dollars, but you're going to be like significantly less confused when you're looking at things. So let's look at Bitcoin. I got to pull up Bitcoin again. All right, so watch this. Okay, look at so if you're not already aware, we're just going to two stocks, MARA and RIOT. There's other ones too. You can feel free to mention them. I don't know all of them because I'm not like the most crypto crazed guy. But anyways, MARA and Riot, two prominent Bitcoin crypto stocks within the stock market, publicly traded. They normally follow pretty close to the price action of Bitcoin. Okay, so when we pull up Bitcoin, we're going to look at the chart on the left, which is MARA, and we're going to look at the chart on the right, which is Bitcoin. And we're going to view both of those on a 1-year day chart. Okay, when we look at both of these on a 1-year day chart, I mean, look at them. Look at where Bitcoin's go. I'm going to delete this red box. It's kind of eye crushing. Okay, look at where the price of Bitcoin's at, right? And I don't know what the percentage gain would be, but let's just see for fun. So the percentage gain for Bitcoin right now from current price-ish up to the daily chart mean would be about 15%. MARA from its current price up to its daily chart mean, oh, I have to change that. Hold on one second. Would be about 15%. Literally. When Bitcoin goes to the mean, MARA is going to go to the mean. If Bitcoin sells off at the mean, MARA is going to sell off at the mean. So my price target for MARA, Riot, and generally speaking, any Bitcoin craze related stock in the market is going to be the same price target as Bitcoin. So wherever Bitcoin's price target is, which I've mentioned should be anywhere from 42 to 53, most likely means that MARA is going to see resistance right around 38 or so. All right, and so I just want to show you how unique that is, right? When you look at the chart of MARA and the chart of Bitcoin, very similar. Not only do they look similar in pattern, but their standard deviation is only the same. So right now, Bitcoin's going for a long target to its long-term regression mean pricing, and it's the same thing happening with MARA, and it should be the same thing happening with Riot. But I believe Riot is lagging MARA and Bitcoin slightly. So you might look at you might look at Riot and be like, oh my God, this hasn't moved. Like this has significantly more that it can go up than MARA. But there's a reason why Riot is lagging MARA, and there is a reason for that. So really, MARA is the stronger one and probably the more reliable stock within that space, at least for this moment in time. That could change years down the road or even months down the road. So for now, there is theoretically a bigger gain to be had on Riot from the current price to the mean, but there's a reason why it is that way, and that's because Riot isn't as trusted as much as MARA, for whatever that might be. So there's probably a little gain to be had on Riot, but you have to be more careful because Riot hasn't yet moved. Okay, so it looks like it has a lot of room to go. But if these stocks are following what Bitcoin's doing, now look at it. Okay, Riot's down here, you get long. Bitcoin's almost about to enter its resistance zone. So though it looks like you have a long way up on Riot before it would hit resistance on its chart, Bitcoin will hit resistance and cause Riot to drop well before it even gets to a resistance on that chart. So again, Bitcoin's near resistance. Riot isn't. Convincing you there's a lot of room to go. But in reality, Bitcoin's almost at resistance. When Bitcoin hits its resistance, it will cause Riot to go down. So again, visually, it looks more appealing, like a bigger gain can be had than MARA. But again, there's a reason for it, which I've just described. So nonetheless, I would still be bullish Riot, MARA, anything Bitcoin, cryptocurrency related. And till we get up into like those prices that I said, and I think you'll start to see some pullback and some slower trading, but still bullish, still long on the cryptos in the market. Also, I bought some Doge on Robinhood. I don't even know what day I bought. It was last week, and then I woke up this morning and bought a little bit. Did I buy some this morning, or was that last night? I don't know. Maybe it was this morning. Was it this morning? No, I couldn't have been this morning. Maybe it was last night. Honestly, I don't even remember. But anyways, I bought some last week, and I bought a little bit this week. And I've already owned Bitcoin, but I've owned such a small fraction that I basically don't even own Bitcoin. But anyway, so we're still long cryptos and all that good stuff. Okay. So that should get us pretty caught up on Bitcoin, cryptos, all that good stuff. Give me a quick second. I want to go through the scanner to see if something crazy is happening and I'm missing it. Not really. Oh, that's so annoying. Oh, by the way, for the 300 of you guys watching, I appreciate you guys tuning in. All we really ask is that you make sure to tickle and or snuggle the like button, whichever you prefer. I know some of you guys are freaks in here, so you can do whatever you want to the button, but we can't say that live. So just know that for the freaky ones out there, I'm thinking about what you're doing in my head, and I think I gotta go to church soon. So you guys are sick. All right. But no, seriously, I am posting a link in the chat that will take you to our second YouTube channel where we provide live scanners all day. So you can use scanners for free there. So just make sure to check that out. Subscribe if you feel free or if you want. All right, I am going to start covering some of the stocks that have been mentioned in the chat. So right now I'm just kind of going down and looking at anything that hasn't been discussed. And AR, I did receive your super chat. I will cover AMD right now. That was also on the list to cover, so I might as well just jump into it now. So last week we discussed AMD should have been bearish. All right, that was pretty much like the main talking point last week was pretty much bearish AMD. Looked to be bearish. We shorted a couple times, I think. Wow. Yeah, it even went up that day and then got... Wow, dude. You guys remember we took a short on AMD up there? Remember? I'm like, yeah, I'll short right there at that red line. And then, like, just scalped it. I had no idea that was going to happen. That was... I didn't expect it to fall apart after such a bullish day, but... maybe I ought to remember that setup. That might be a good thing to take a picture of. 1 second. Yeah, I gotta take a picture of that, and I gotta archive that. But hold on. So, mother trucker, get off my screen. Thank you. Thinkorswim. Yeah, give me a second here, guys. I gotta do something here. No, stop it. Okay, all right, I'm all done there. Sorry. All right, so we're going to back and we're going to start at the 4-hour chart with AMD. So my assumption, well, let's see. So I feel as if AMD wants to continue lower. I do think it wants to try that. Might not happen until we bounce a bit. Market looked like it wasn't crazy bullish. Yeah, so what I would be looking for in the immediate right now. Yes, I think it could go lower. Yes, I think it could bounce before it goes lower. I think the trend for the time being in the short is down. I believe the markets are going to try to break +3 to the downside. All right. So when we zoom in right now, the current first so let me put it this. Let me go back. The first support level based on solid whole deviation marks would come into play here. This would be essentially, well, let me rephrase that. Okay. Okay. So from this downtrending move, this is the first support level. Okay. So we're going up, 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 pull back. So now we're in a downtrend. So therefore, anything that's long bias in the downtrend, at least first, is a counter trend long, which means it's just meant to bounce and then continue back down until it bases out, finds a bottom, bounces, pulls back, creates a higher low. So this price point that you're seeing from 109 to 109.05, that is your first support zone in the market for AMD since it's kind of pulled back and crashed from its highs. Okay, you will notice that we're getting a bullish reversing buy here just as we basically near that green box. So the market on AMD in the immediate is not really going to go much lower until it breaks through that zone. So this is your current mini support zone of the market for AMD in a downtrend. Okay, and I would look to be bearish as the markets come through this point, but I really wouldn't be too bearish until the markets actually go through that point, or you're shorting or being bearish off a big top that for whatever reason you expect is going to come down. So for now, you probably want to be slightly bearish, I think, still anticipating it's going to get to that green box. So I will mention, though, there are instances where the market will stay above the blue line here, this section I told you about. And if they do that, generally speaking, it means that the market is a little bit stronger. Not that it's going to bounce here, keep running, but it means that just in general, a little bit of a stronger market. So this was what I would watch for your first support, and I would really only consider being bearish once it breaks through that that level. So that would be kind of my thoughts on AMD right now. You don't trust crypto, too overbought right now. Sias Laketis, actually, believe it or not, Bitcoin is not overbought. It's actually just returned back to slightly fair value. So if you were actually to buy Bitcoin right now, but this is on the course of 365 days to 180, so over the course of half year to a year, theoretically, Bitcoin is basically at fair value currently. So it's actually really not overbought from a statistical perspective. From an opinionated perspective, yes, it could be overbought. From a statistical perspective, at least on 1 year to 300 or 180 days, it's actually fair value to slightly undervalued, believe it or not. Infrastructure bill will kill Bitcoin. I mean, I'd have to look into it. I really haven't looked into the infrastructure bill all that much, but it would be wise of me to sit down and actually take a look at that. Now, my thoughts on that, and it's very cheap because I don't know so much, but it's very simple. If in the event in the infrastructure bill, blah, 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 or pretty much any bills that come in the future are about regulating cryptocurrency, then that will actually be more bullish for cryptocurrency, believe it or not. Yeah, so if for whatever reason, yeah, people think that regulation is probably going to hurt the growth of Bitcoin, it probably won't, because it's going to legitimize Bitcoin more so and give it more of a reason to be trusted, sort of. So it will probably end up, I think it'll probably end up doing more good for Bitcoin than bad. But, I mean, we'll see. But that's my take on it. It's actually probably be another bowl of soup. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I could get almost 2 bowls of Panera soup with $10. Let's go. So, yeah, I think regulation on crypto will actually cause it to be more bullish, in my opinion. DraftKings buying GNOG. Yeah, so if you look at GNOG this morning, you're going to see that it's up. Buyout deal, typically what happens. Most Bitcoin activity was a dead cat bounce. Mexico raising interest rates to almost 4% plus. We will have to as well. Yeah, at some point we're definitely going to be having to raise the prices. Raise interest rates, and that's probably a given. Yeah, it looks like gold fell, but it probably fell down basically back to the buy zone. So if we go look at /GC, just really quickly because it's a big sell-off. Yeah, so look at the bottom of gold today, right? So again, when people ask why do I use standard deviation, it's for reasons like this, right? The exact bottom of the market on gold today was at -2 deviation. So, you know, if we were watching gold when that happened, this would have been one of the recommended buy points for gold. We literally would have told you to buy gold at $1,680, which would have been 10 cents off the bottom. And we would have known that was a potential bottom when it was trading at 17, 18, you know what I mean? So when people ask why I use standard deviation, that's the perfect example of why I use standard deviation. Again, look at this. 180-day charts. This is over the course of the last year. Would have gave me a buy point for gold down at the price of 1,680, which would have been slightly different because it would have actually been, I would have categorized it as a buy zone. So my buy zone would have been these 2 red lines on /GC or gold this morning. Would have been there. So that would have been, in that instance we're watching it, this would have been your recommended buy zone for gold this morning. Thumbs up. Yeah, so price target on MARA would be the mean or the regression level, which I don't know what that is off the top of my head, but we can come back to that in a second. COVID plays? No, really, I haven't really thought about much COVID plays. Not that there isn't money to be made on that, but really haven't put two cents into COVID. And that's probably because it kind of died off, and now mainstream's bringing it back. But no, I'm not really putting too much attention into COVID anymore. It's something that I just kind of want to put in my past. So yeah, I'm just kind of moving on from that. Unless the world just kind of keeps trying to suck us back in, but I'm trying to move away from that. So I'm just kind of on the happy-go-lucky thing. I want you guys to love your family members, love planet Earth, love the world, breathe the air. Don't concern yourself too much with what happens on the TV. Love your family. Because next thing you know, a comet's going to hit the Earth tomorrow, and it would have all been for nothing anyways, okay? So just love your fams. Wake up every day happy. Don't concern yourself too much with what's on the TV. Again, it's a scary thing. Bntx Monster Earnings Report this AM. Do you think it runs a day or does it pull back for a few days? Because big. Alrighty. So you had Bntx. Yeah, that was a mover this morning. Up to 430, been on the move, still has some room to run before I would categorize it as super overbought. Not really, never mind. What does Bntx do? It's a biotech company. Okay, yeah, so I'm suggesting that we have gotten to a good price point to probably sell Bntx for the time being or pretty soon. So my desired selling zone, or an area where I definitely wouldn't be buying the stock long bias, would be at the price of 450 to 470 for the time being. So I will say that this is my desired selling zone for the stock. And that's it. Yeah, I think once we hit that red box, maybe slightly over, maybe slightly below, which we already kind of did. But anyways, I think you're going to see Bntx start to sell off pretty soon, or have some sort of a more of a pullback. Yeah, Momo. Yeah, I don't know if that was yesterday or whatever, but whenever that was, yeah. I don't know if I read your question or not, but I'll scroll up. Let me see. Oh, this is based on it where. I don't know what your, oh, maybe the AMC one. For AMC, wouldn't today be a perfect time to sell at the money call put to expect how much it will move after the earnings report? Let me just double check 1 second. Whatever work. Yeah, today would be the day. So today would be a day where you'd add up the at the money call and the at the money put to come up with the implied move for AMC's earnings. So I normally always did it towards the end of the day because I felt it towards, excuse me. I always did it towards the end of the day because I always felt that the options were priced more, hiccups, were priced more accurately towards the end of the day as opposed to right in the morning. So with AMC today, you can do the you can do the at the money put, at the money call, add them together, figure out how much they should move, and then nope, that's it. You're right about that one, Mr. Montero. I hit on xela 325. Let me just take a peek because why not? Yeah, so what ended up happening last week, we talked that we were going through a dip and then you might look for a bounce probably back to those two red lines. So yep, that happened. So that's good. That's actually good that xela did that because that keeps it kind of more on the bullish move, right? Because like I said, remember, yeah, and I said that remember I was like, okay, the bearish market is looking to break it down here. Remember, like, okay, the bears want to go below this point. The bulls want to stay above that point. We shifted below it for a little bit on the day, and then the bulls bought it back up, got over, and then broke it back up to the desired long target. So that's a very bullish move. This actually gives me a very comfortable feeling to consider that you should be long bias xela because, again, this went down, traded sideways, tried to break support, got sucked up instantly to an extremely bullish hammer candle, and then we popped up to our price target. So everything that we said could happen literally happened, like perfectly. Bears want to break this, they broke it. Bulls want to be up and hitting this price target. So everything's happened as we mentioned. It could. So now we will say that in the event xela is going to be another good long, you need to get up at least to the price target of 335 before you can even consider it turns into like a big rip. So yeah, you're looking for xela to break out of its +1 deviation levels, which is the price of 329, and that's probably it. I think it's just 329 now. Oh no, the 4 hours above. Yeah. So you can see we're stopping at the J. Look at that, right? Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Daily chart +1 deviation priced at $3.29. Look at stock today, pre-market. Look at that. Look at that. Look at, should I repeat this more and more and more? I mean, I'm going to have to, but literally, let's do that again because that's just impeccable. Zoom in, 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 zoom in. +1 deviation, 329. You can even see its price there on the side in that little orange yellow box, 329. Pre-market high for the day, 329. That's how you know where the pre-market high is going to be before a pre-market high even exists. Oh, that was fun. So yeah, anyways, the only way XELA is going to really go higher is you got to get that market up and through the prices of 329. So you're saying short it? No, I would not short that. Nope. No, I wouldn't short it. And the reason I wouldn't short it is because this was a bullish move back into those prices after a big correction. So right, this, and the reason I'm saying that, ready? So we told you it's better to be bearish here because this would have been a first attempt at that resistance. So this is the first attempt of the market to break through, at the time, the +1 deviation marks. Big sell-off. All right, now the market got bought back up. And look at where you were. So this yellow area, all right, down to that line. So big drop. Then a bullish move back up. The market would be less likely to do a sell-off like you've seen here because, well, for one, it just did that. Two, if you look at the move started down here at 250, ran up to 350. This had a $1 per share move, creating anywhere from a 50-cent pullback. This here really only had a move from 290 up to like 320, so it only really has like a 30-cent move, which only really provides for a 15-cent pullback if in the event the market wanted to do a 50% retracement. So if the market wanted to do a 50% retracement, which is very common, then the market would only provide for, say, a 15-cent profit potential, which really doesn't make sense for me to go bearish on. Not enough profit potential there. So no, I don't think you should be bearish this top in the sense that you want to be trading it bearishly. But I think you want to be bearish this top, at least for the time being, until the bulls come back in to try to force this thing on a breakout. So I think you can be optimistically long on this over the next couple days. And your main objective is to get up and through the 335 price. And if it's a successful breakout, then you will see a price target of $4 to $4.15. Okay, and that's all we got on XELA here this morning. How will you calculate earnings for pre-market stocks? You will add up the put and the call at the end of the day before the company reports earnings. Same thing you would do for after hours. Oh, Momo FOMO, sorry. Yeah, of course. I'm saying, yeah, if you're going to short it, put your whole account on it. DKNG for the win. Let me go take a peek at that. Let's see what that's doing. Wow, really? So that ended up, yeah, see, that's annoying. DKNG went down. See, we were trading this, what day were we trading this? We were trading this Friday? Yeah, and we wanted to hold this support level, but the market wanted to shake down, fill the gap. But nonetheless, it does appear that DKNG is still pretty bullish. So this is a situation where I think it could be doing kind of a cup and handle. It's going to try to break up into prices of 58s or so. So we're going to keep an eye on DKNG today, maybe next couple days. But I mean, it held there, came back up really nicely. They just did that buyout. So I think we can be optimistic on DKNG going up a little bit more over the next couple days and or like week or something. All right, so it is Monday morning. It's 8:44. You know, the stream is still sitting about that 355 to 400. So we appreciate all of you guys tuning in with us this morning. All we ask is that you hit the like button for the most part, and that helps our stream obviously pick up more. Again, if you're newer to the channel, just an FYI, we run another channel with live scanners every single day, Benzinga and Trade Idea scanners. So if you need scanners, completely free, you can use those, watch those every single day on our channel, Monday through Friday, for free. So you're basically getting professional grade scanners for free, but they're delayed by about like 5 or 10 seconds or something like that. So just head on over to the Trading Clips YouTube channel. Only 2 likes, it's nipple time. Let's go, baby. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that, my man. I appreciate you. Why is Tesla not moving? In a nutshell, it'd probably just be because there's not enough people buying or selling it to create enough movement on it. But that would be too easy of an answer, right? But no, that's just it. There's just not enough people interacting with the stock this morning to cause market makers to move spreads and things like that. Pay no Towns. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. I do use the 9 moving average. You just don't know where to see. My 9 moving average is this one. So you can see it's right there. That's where my 9-day moving average is. So I do use it, but I only now, for the most part, just use the daily chart 9-day moving average as opposed to an intraday 9 moving average. And the reason being is that because I just know where the 9-day moving average is on my own, right? If you ask me where the 9-day moving average is on this chart, it's right here, right? Like if I had to manually put a 9-day moving average on this chart for BTBP, I can't do it because, well, it's a line, so it'll look straight. But the 9-day moving average is like right here. And then the 9-day moving average broke, and then it came down, and then it crossed here, and then it went like this. So I'm going to draw my own 9-day moving average, and then we'll see how accurate it is. To about there, and then it's there, and then it's going to be down below it. So let's see how accurate that is. So I think that's what the 9-day moving average is going to look like. Maybe slightly. Mine's probably slightly off. It probably followed price action a little closer, so it's probably like that. But somewhere in that zone is where the 9-day moving average is going to be for this. So if we do... So I was off, but yeah, I mean, you can see it just rides price action. So didn't really have to think much to know that it's pretty much riding the price action of that stock. So I just don't need it anymore is all. There's probably instances where it could help, sure, but for the most part, I kind of can visualize what it's doing in my head. Yes, James, we have done a video on how to use those scanners. That's actually going to be a video on my YouTube channel that probably says you never have to scan for stocks again because we provide scanners for you. Something like that. But there is a channel on my video. I had a link of it the other day. I posted it, but there's somewhere in there. Yeah, I definitely cooked my brother, but I think I probably ended up shooting, didn't break 40. I think I probably shot like a 43 on, was that Friday or Saturday? Yeah, didn't break 40 with them, but probably shot in the 43s or something like that. Yeah, cool. All right, awesome. AXSM still moving a little bit. My calves are crazy. I have been told. Thank you. The one person that disliked the stream is probably the guy that listened to the video about Bitcoin and didn't buy it because he was waiting for 20,000. So that's probably the dude that disliked the video. But that's okay, because whomever that guy is, dear Lord, I hope he has a great day. Make sure he has a great day, his family's protected, and that I'm not really concerned with the dislike. Amen. So why did you only make 161,000? Because I just don't trade gigantic size all the time. And generally speaking, as I go up, excuse me, as I go up and use more money, I emotionally get worse and worse. So generally speaking, I just can't trade with a significant amount of money and keep my cool myself. So it's not, there is like sort of a cap limit on like when I start to do worse, so to speak. But yeah, that's about it. And because my objective isn't necessarily to like go gangbusters and make a ton of money. I mean, I would love to. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I've tried it and I've bit myself extremely hard before. I've done it a couple times. I've taken, really big trades, and sometimes they've panned out, and other times they haven't panned out, and it's like, you set yourself back so far and then you question your reality. You're like, what am I doing? I might as well go work at McDonald's, So that's how it feels when you get your ass kicked in the market. And so it's just like, mentally, it's just so draining. You have enough of those beat downs that like your mental fatigue becomes just beaten down. So I generally want to keep myself in an area where mentally I don't get beaten down. And so for me, it's a comfortability thing. And like I said before, trading is really just a small portion of an investment strategy, right? So behind the scenes, I have multiple 401ks and Roth IRAs, and like really that's my bread and butter. Like this is really, this is my job too. But at the end of the day, even if I stop trading, I'll be fine. Like I'm not gonna go broke. Even if I stop trading, even if I stop YouTube, I won't go broke, right? Things like that. So really trading is just for me a small portion of the investment strategy, so that you can make money off the short-term fluctuations of the market and then take that money to add back into the long-term growth of the market. So again, you can't move millions and millions of dollars trading all the time, right? So that being said, you can sit on millions and millions of dollars and let it grow. So the objective is take short-term fluctuations in the market, my perspective, use that capital gain to move back into long-term investments to grow with compounding interest over your life. So that's kind of my investment approach, which is significantly different than the way that the day trading market is promoted. The day trading market is promoted: leave your job, trade, make a bunch of money, buy a Lambo, have sex with a couple strippers, maybe do some cocaine along the way. But in reality, it's more or less, for me, take your time, learn the game, invest. Hopefully you'll become good enough to make some money. You don't have to make a bunch of money, but any money is good that's made, and then take that and invest it into a long term. Because you probably, again, it's harder to beat the market over a long term perspective, and there's nothing better than compounding interest and dividend growth over a long time. It crushes it. You don't even have to think about it and you're making money. So that's really my view on the whole subject. Well, respectfully speaking, the Lambo... Well, hold on. Respectfully speaking, the strippers and cocaine are probably doable. The Lambo and millions of dollars, probably not. So you could probably have that lifestyle without becoming a millionaire day trader, but again, where's the fun in that, right? So you could probably accomplish 2 out of the 4. I wouldn't recommend it, but you probably could on a pretty low budget, right? But again, the lower the budget, that's a really bad time. Probably find yourself with a little bag of sugar. And I won't say the rest because that probably get me kicked off YouTube. Yeah, so again, Warrior Trading experiences it. I know he does. I know Ross does. Anybody who has traded financially for a long time has done it. They have taken a big loss and it hurts. It really sets you back. It's not even the losing the money, it's the mental side of it, right? There'll be days where I've lost tons of money trading and it's like you don't want to do anything for the day. Then I don't want to work, right? Then I don't want to make a YouTube video. Then I don't want to go through my emails. Then I don't want to go through my refunds and customer service issues. And I don't want to go on top of my roof and put the fucking gutter things on. I don't want to do any of that. So then it trickles into your life. Right? And then it starts affecting your day-to-day life, which is the same thing that happens with anybody who gambles a lot, which again, this is speculative gambling is really what it is, which most people won't tell you because they want to suck you into the industry, but I will wholeheartedly tell you this is statistical, speculative investing / gambling when you're doing it at this pace. You can just give yourself more of an edge as opposed to going to the casino where it's literally you can't win in the long. Well, some people do actually, believe it or not. So again, it's statistical gambling at the end of the day. 1 second. So with that being said, yes, it can very dramatically affect your mental game that travels into your day-to-day tasks and so on. Why does this not, it doesn't even make sense. I hate when it's like this. I know you're right there, but it's not doing it. 1 second, guys. Yes. Duh. Thank you. So yeah, on that discussion, mentally it's a draining game, and like I said, so in regards to making money, and that again, to me, really being able to pull any profit from the market is good. If it comes from a short-term basis, whether it be options, swing trading, day trading, anything like that, I think is really good. So with that being said, it's very mentally draining. It can be, and the biggest concern I would have for myself and for you guys watching, anybody who's just getting into the game, is that that is probably the worst thing that comes with it. If you do it long enough, is the mental drag that can trickle over in day-to-day life. And if you don't learn how to manage that, then it's a bitch. I have had bad years. I have had bad months. I've had months where I didn't want to do anything because I'd been down, for X amount of months on my trading profits. So then you're like, am I ever going to get out of this? And then you finally get out of it. And then you're like, oh, life's back to normal. This is like a switch. Life's back to great. And it's been moments for me like that where I'm like, whoa, I don't like this, right? So I wanted more of a slower, hopefully it can grind it out, but I don't want to experience the big whipsaw. So you're going to have your down days, you'll have your up days, and you're still going to be mentally affected, but it's just making sure that the swing isn't as wild. So you don't, so a good example of that would be your mental game when it comes to this. You don't want it to be like BTBT. You want it to be nothing like BTBT. You want it to be like the SPY, right? You're going to have your little dips and everything. That's fine. But generally speaking, let's say that this middle line, like that's the happy medium of life. You're not too high to the point where you're making stupid ass decisions, and you're not so low that you're making stupid ass decisions, right? So you're not riding the high and being so euphoric that you think everything's so great that nothing could go wrong, that you get caught off guard and then your life gets crumbled. Or you don't want your life to be so crushed that you're so depressed, you're so down, you can't do anything and you can't function, you can't get your emails done on the day. You want it to be like this, where you're kind of just riding a normal mean. You're going to have your highs, you're going to have your lows, but don't sway too far from the mean, because that's the danger zone. And the only way you're going to hit the danger zone is when you take really aggressive positions, you're too over leveraged, and things like that. And so the smaller the deviation of your mental game will keep you closer to a healthy mind. And so that is really my philosophy on investing and how you coincide with the two on your day-to-day lifestyle. Just going to go through a couple questions here. As we get about closer to 9:15, I want to take a second, just kind of review a couple things. I don't even know what I'm going to trade today. Like I said, when I got up this morning, it's Monday. I had tons of emails, messages, just random things. And so I just never really got caught up on the market. So I don't know how this day is going to shape up just yet. The only really thing I'm working on, like I said, was I bought... Oh, it looks like the market broke up above my desired resistance point, so we're not going to be suggesting bearish SPY anymore. If you go look at the SPY, look at what just happened. The market broke above the resistance that we suggested, creating like a flag breakout. But anything, the only thing I was really working on this morning was like long Dogecoin from this weekend till this morning. It's a decent gain though. Actually going to sell a little bit of Doge this morning because that's a good gain. So I just now I'm actually just selling some Dogecoin. It was a good gain. Not bad. But it does look like we're going to continue up. So I did keep on about 30% of that position. What a fucking look at this guy in the YouTube, our YouTube chat, trying to act like the boiler room, pinned boiler room. Like, no, you loser, you're gone. Bye. I don't typically, but it's something I should do more often. Yeah, watching sectors and things like that. But that is a good idea. You could watch sectors, to see what sectors are down the most, which stocks in that sector went down the most or up the most, and you can use that to decide whether it's something you want to jump in on or not. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, you might not think about it, but I do actually miss having coworkers and people that you could joke around with and hang out with at work and like discuss with, You don't get that as a trader. And some people like being, by themselves. I don't really mind it all that much. But there are moments in time where like, man, it would be nice, if you're working with someone, a little bit. But, it's another thing. You don't get health insurance, right? You get none of that shit. So you still have to pay for all that out of pocket, right? So there's a lot of security issues that come with it, right? But I bet they didn't tell you that in the advertisement you saw on Google now, did they? No. Buy a Lambo, blow, strippers, mansion. Oh, wait, you don't get health insurance. Oh, you don't get a 401k. You gotta set that one. Oh, you don't get a match. You don't get that. Oh, you still gotta. Oh, yeah, you don't get. Yeah. So it's not all what they make it to seem. Did I buy xela? No, but we did trade it last week or something like that. Are you still on BNGO? No, actually, I'm glad you said something. I think I sold a little bit of that. Did I? I think I did. But I am considering, it does kind of look good still, so we might re-add to that. I think I sold a little bit on Friday. because I'm like, you know what, I don't think it's ready to go just yet, and I could probably re-get in. So I do think there is a long move coming here. So I'm still watching BNGO on the long side nonetheless. But no, I'm pretty sure I sold it all, because I think I bought on this day. I bought that day. So I bought on this trading day, and then we dipped, and then we bounced back up, and you can see we bounced to the half standard deviation. So I sold the other day as we bounced up to the half deviation. And now I'm looking for a break through the half deviation for, I guess you could say, a new play on the long side. Oh, no, I still have some. Excuse me. I sold a little bit. So I still have a little bit on BNGO. Not a lot, but a little. So I sold probably 70% as we came up, and now just holding a little bit on BNGO. So we're looking for the half standard deviation. We're looking for the half deviation break there on BNGO. Give me a second. I got to send out a watch. Can you be a moderator? Sure. Yeah, that too. Like, if anybody cares to be a moderator, like in the YouTube chat, if you want to be, that's totally cool by me. I mean, obviously, just don't be a complete asshole. And we're good. But seriously, if anybody cares to be a mentor, things like that, would you send me? I'm gonna post my direct company email here, business email. So if anybody's interested in moderating or just kind of being a little bit more tied into the Boiler Room Trading community here on YouTube, feel free to send me an email there and we can discuss the details as opposed to doing this on YouTube. What did I do before trading? I worked as an assistant manager. I worked on cars. I started my own small car repair / painting service where most of my clients came through word of mouth and Craigslist. And then at one point I tried to start a small soap business because my mom knew the industry pretty well. Made money doing all of these things, but was never totally it. But anyways, and I worked as an assistant manager for a long time, making good money. And then pretty much along that whole process, I always had 401ks, Roth IRAs, invested since I was in my teens. And then I woke up one day, I'm like, I'm going to be an investor and just do things like that. And now here we are in 27, and now I have a 4-unit rental property, 2 YouTube channels. The second YouTube channel makes like very little money, basically no money. This YouTube channel makes enough money to the point where I can have a decent standard of living. Nothing crazy. I'm not like Meet Kevin. I'm not like Ricky Gutierrez. I'm not like Graham Stephan who make millions and millions of dollars. YouTube doesn't pump me like that. So I make a decent standard of living from YouTube. And then trading, and then again I have I have 4 retirement accounts now. Business 401k, personal 401k, Roth IRA, non-qualify. So now I have 4 retirement accounts that all generate income, and then I have a Robinhood account, and I have a Webull account, and I have a TD Ameritrade account, and I have a Lightspeed account. I don't trade in the TD Ameritrade account anymore. I only trade in the Robinhood, a little bit in the Webull sometimes, and Lightspeed. So in those 3 accounts. And then I'm working on starting up a car rental business or a private jet business. So that's my story. Pretty much everything is investing related at the end of the day. Syed, regarding the one-to-one mentoring sessions, I will have a new updated link tomorrow. Long story short, had to redo the page because I did it wrong. I did everything sort of wrong on that. So I'm sending out new links. If you already had signed up you're going to get a new link and you're basically going to re-sign up. So that will all come out tomorrow. I will have new updated links for everyone. But just know, like, at the end of the day, everything that this guy does here, it's all just investing related. I basically just take money and move money to certain places to hopefully generate money over the long term, or just some sort of money. So that's really like the whole thing. Car, it doesn't matter what it is. I don't really care what it is. I will own any business. I will do anything as long as it's making money. And that's kind of the saying. You know, I remember watching this podcast video one time. Some guy said, I didn't want to get into the vending machine business. I just like the cash flow. Again, I don't want to own vending machines, but if they cash flow money, I'll do it because I like the money. So then that's being an investor, right? And that's the other thing. People are like, well, don't just do stuff for money. It's about happiness. Well, no, I'm an investor. I like investing. I like the money side of investing. So whatever it is, if it generates a cash flow, if it's positive, it makes sense, I'll put my money there. So that might be into cars and then into airplanes next. So everyone's like, oh, like, what are you doing here, Connor? Like, why are you doing this? What's your next thing? It's like I'm kind of just like sitting still in limbo, just putting equity into both of my homes, my rental, and then just kind of sitting and just waiting for what my next business move will be. Okay, it is about 9:15, so we'll see. I'm going to continue going through a couple questions here, and then Kelly Parker, first hour of the day. No, that's a great time to make moves. It can be harder. A lot of times there's more volume, more volatility, and it's just harder to read, harder to judge. But no, that's not necessarily the truth at all. I think that could be an opinionated statement I think that can be an opinionated statement that's now being seen as fact. So I think that's actually up for debate more than it is a concrete argument for the time being. I see YouTube does not send me alerts when you are live, and I have notifications on, and Trade Clip sends me alerts. Yeah, I mean, that's typically how YouTube works. Yeah. They don't send people notifications. It's Fight Club. Yeah, Frank, so overall, I believe that as the years progress, boiler room trading is going to end up evolving not only from trading. That's just where everything started for me. Like, that was just like when I first came on to a social media presence, it was just like about trading. Like, I was just in like Facebook groups, and I would just like post some things like, oh, like, check this out, and here's this, and people are like, wow, this is great. And then like I'd make a video of a trade or like do some things like, wow, like, you really should teach people this. And I had like never even thought in a million days and years that I would teach anything. And I'm like, sure, why not? Like, I'll post a video, like, see what people think about it. And then I posted one, and then people were like, this is brilliant. We love this. You're really good at teaching. I'm like, okay, I'll make another one. And I made another one, and I made another. The next thing you know, I just started working on YouTube. But then it's always just been geared on trading and all this, whereas I have a lot of other stuff I could do. And I just never developed it into anything more. But I do believe as the years progress, we're probably going to evolve into a all-around financial channel from, you know, long-term, more on swing trading. You'll have options, you'll have futures, stuff about homes, refinancing, mortgages, but 100% finance related, from the boring of the boringest to the exciting of the exciting. So I think in a couple of years, it's probably where things will be. So if you guys, you know, like that, then hopefully you're cool with that. All right, I need a second. I'm answering a lot of questions. I want to run through my scanners really quickly. I know somebody asked about Works. I apologize. Yes, it is spiking up with volatility. So let me just take a quick peek at this really quickly. 1 second, guys. Interesting. Yeah, let me take a peek at Works here really quickly. So Works is overbought again. I mean, yeah, maybe this keeps moving. Maybe it hits back up to 480, but I mean, pretty much you're just trading this based off of intraday momentum. Does look a little strong. I don't believe that's going to fall very easily. So yeah, I think this is still more of a long stock for right now. I probably won't do a whole lot with it, only because I don't understand it very good. It is a big U shape. You know, we got spiked up to 480, overbought, then it crashed. We went back to oversold, we got bought up, and now it's back to overbought. So this is a very high risk location to take ownership of Works, which means I probably won't take ownership of the equity on Works given the fact that it's up at these prices. So I'm just hesitant on being long with Works right now there. And GNOG, we already know that's a buyout. That's probably not going to do a whole lot. You know, hold on. Let me go back and take a look at AMC too. I don't actually, don't really remember this from today. So AMC sold off. So yeah, we'll do a quick analysis here with AMC. Alrighty, so alright. So would AMC continue selling down today, or are we gonna go back to the mean? Yeah, so I just think we gotta actually watch AMC long today. And I think you're looking at AMC long back to a target of 34 to even the 35.28. The market does not gain back bullish momentum until it gets over the price of 35.25. So theoretically, we can still be on a counter trend long bounce back into resistance at 35.28 before the market rolls down. So again, to convince me that we're more of a trending up move, we'd have to be sustaining over prices of 35.21 for right now, which seems like that would be, it's too soon to suggest that bulls have taken back control. So again, until we're over 35.25, bulls don't have control. I think you got to be long bias on the day. Ideally, I think the play is going to be sort of a 4-hour candle break over the half candle retrace level, which is about 33 to, oh, I don't know my drawing tools on this. Yeah, so I think AMC is going to be a long play up to the 4-hour candle high and half candle retrace level. And if that works, we would see targets up to 34.20 to as high as 35.25. 35.25 would be significantly harder because that's currently above the 3 standard deviation level and the +4 deviation level. So it's more likely with the analysis that I just gave you, if the market is long, it would be easiest just to target at 34. as opposed to 35.25. But whatever, that's the analysis. It took me a couple of years to fully kind of understand trading enough to feel comfortable making a decision myself and putting money on the line. So I think just in general, it'll probably take you a couple of years. That's generally what it is for most people too. Someone in the comments earlier was like, been at this for 3 years and just now kind of getting to the point where I'm able to make a decent amount of money from a day-to-day basis or, on a weekly basis or something. Now, it is said that over the long run, like even myself, it's very possible that over the course of the long run, I could end up becoming not profitable, because that's also where the statistic plays out, is that it is said that over a long-term basis, it's almost nearly to sustain profitability and or to beat the market as a trader. So it might be doable in short term, but not in long term, and I started trading, well, now it's probably 6. It's probably 7. Well, I'm 27, so it's safe to say it's 6. So let's say 6 years. We've been in a bull market for 13, 14 years now. So most of my trading career has existed through a bull market. There are many discussions that when a bull market ends or a bear market arises, that traders are going to have significantly harder time generating profits, which could very well be true. Obviously, I could still short, and short stocks as they're going down. But obviously, making gains is going to be harder as markets are going down. It just is. So now, is that going to be a point where maybe my trading shifts and I start losing money more so, or it's harder for me to sustain a profit? I couldn't tell you. So again, statistically speaking, and I'm a statistics guy based on this, I've done okay, but on the long term, will I be able to sustain for the rest of my life? And I know maybe not. And that's why I keep telling you guys that I'm not doing this as a means to an end, as just a small portion of a means to my whole entire investment approach. And that's what I keep trying to teach to you guys here on the channel, is it's an investment approach. It's like a little piece of the pie. Trading, little piece of your investment pie that you keep with you. Your main pieces are 401ks, Roth IRAs, tax-deferred accounts, or you can just do individual investment accounts that might be in low-risk funds that are going to generate profits over a long term, and so on and so forth. Which might sound boring and annoying, but that's the reality of it. You just need a way to find a way to advertise your channel more. I shouldn't have. No, we're good. We're good. How do you invest and trade those 401ks? Hardly ever. That's it. Pretty much you don't. Pretty much buy things you like, sit on them, and hold them for the most part. Why not trading on TD? Once you have so many accounts, you just can't simply trade them all. It's just not really possible. And then also the reason I don't trade it in TD Ameritrade is just because they're just slow. That's pretty much it. Just do my analysis on them, but they're just too slow for execution. It's not that they're bad. They're great for swing trading, but if you're going to do anything sort of intraday trading, they're just really not the best. You can get away with it. I did it for a lot of years, but there's better options. Yes, I do travel a bit. Do you think order flow is better at Webull or TD Ameritrade? I haven't really traded enough on Webull to see whose is better, but I would say that Webull is better because of things that I've experienced in the past with TD Ameritrade. Can you check out yeah, Robert, we could, but like I said, it's best to do that at the end of the day, which I won't be on at the end of the day, so it'd be better for you to do it at the end of the day towards market close. Yes, Eric, you could say that is the truth. I have no idea, Mr. Montero. Probably not. I currently trade mostly on light speed. Oh, yeah, most of my intraday execution would come from light speed. Nope, no better standard deviation. I'm not looking either. I'm not really looking because I don't have to. Well, I could, but I've put out the. Well, wait, no, that was somebody else. Oh yeah, if you're tuned in this morning, someone the other week tuned in. They said they made a script for TD Ameritrade on the standard deviation. I sent you my email, but you never sent the email. So if by any means you're in this chat today, just know that I did not get your email. I tried interactive brokers for about 2 seconds, didn't really care for the platform layout, and then just left. Yep, Kevin, exactly. There you go. So you can see that does in fact work. So I really hope that video reaches a lot of people, because then a lot of people know how to do earnings reports. Hey, maybe that's the case, yeah, with Webull. Yeah, it doesn't look like our friend. Remember I was saying I want to see AMC up to 34. I will mention that in order to do that, it first needs to get through probably this level. See this dotted orange line? It's called a half candle retrace level. It has a lot of significance, so just know until AMC really gets through this point, it's going to be hard for it to get to 34. But my opinion is, that this thing does have the opportunity to continue upwards. So we'll see. And if I'm wrong, if it doesn't kind of grind up here some more and it continues lower, then you know where our price target's at for the bounce. It's at 25. So again, in the event that AMC doesn't go long and doesn't kind of pop up a little bit here, that's completely fine. We're just not going to buy it long. Maybe we'll go back to being bearish, and we'll just expect that eventually it's going to go down to 25, and then 25 would be another area to consider a long play on it. When will you open a golf channel? I considered it. I am actually going to sit down with my buddy this week. We're going to contemplate the ideas of branding, color combinations for the channel, and then really just contemplate if this is something we want to do. Because I love golf, I really do. But once you open the door to that, you have to be committed. So I'm really just making sure it's something I do want to do. But I know I'm going to play golf the rest of my life, so it's like, why not? So it's something we're considering, and hopefully we'll just kind of have fun with it more than it would be serious. So it just might be another thing that I do. Like I said, I'm entrepreneurial. It's just what I do. But I also love golf so much. So, all right, we're about at market open here. Give me about 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Wherever this is at. So Works might be moving too. I haven't really looked. Is BT still hard to borrow? Yeah. So BDR hit the scanner. I wonder if that's anything interesting. I mean, kind of. Doesn't really have the volume. Well, I mean, I just don't think it's going to make a gigantic move. So you see how AMC kind of pressed up here. It only hit +1 deviation on the day, but kind of close to the half candle retrace, and again, still not up and through. So that's, like I said, the main thing there. AMC, struggle. Market starting to come back down a little bit. Let's see how the Q's opened. All right, so the Q's, instead of being bearish like I thought, it looks like we ended up retracing over that resistance that I had mapped out. So yeah, we didn't really do a whole lot of a bearish move. We tried to, but market almost instantly spiked up. So that's good. But the question is it sustainable? Or is it just a quick pop and drop? Part of me feels like it's going to be it's going to pull back on us. Well, AMC still not really doing a whole lot. Do I ever trade the opening range breakout strategy? Yeah, probably at times unknowingly, but it's not like I aim to do that, no. Yeah, still keeping an eye on this AMC here a little bit. Works halted up. Nice. Now let's see. Yeah, awkward looking stock, but yeah, you can see that the SPY has ended up selling back down. The Nasdaq is slowly starting to roll down as well. Yeah, BNGO is holding up okay. Well, AMC coming back up pretty nicely there. So again, AMC just got to that half candle retrace level. So ideally it would have to go above that level to really pop. And there it goes, kind of getting through. All right, so the objective is to see if it can sustain this price point in the immediate. I don't know. I'm still watching BNG. I mean, we've cleared that price point, which is good. I think I might add a little bit more on a BNGO long. I'm going to do that here. So AMC is basically clearing a previous 4-hour candle there. So taking a small bit long. This is basically to see if we're going to actually break over the previous 4-hour candle high and maybe go up to that 34.20 target that we had mentioned earlier. Nice pop. There it goes. Taking a little off. And that's a good trade. Still holding a little bit. Pretty much hit our 34.20 target there. Just close that trade. AMC could go a little higher, but like I said, that 34.20s mark, that was pretty much the first easily identifiable target for me to reach on the day. I did mention we could get as high as the 35 something. What did I say it was? We could still see a 35.25, but to do that, we'd have to break above 3 deviations on the day. We'd have to break above the 9-day moving average. We'd have to break above the 4 standard deviation level to get to that level, which I thought would be significantly harder to do than just getting up to 34.25. So there we go. Holy shit, the market just ended up selling way down. So I guess we were right about it being bearish, just not how it would actually start for the day. So market did, in fact, go into the bearish move. Yeah, cool. Works could, I was looking at, remember we said Works, I'm like, I'm probably not going to play with it just because of the way it looks. But I did mention, maybe it goes back to the 480 high. But anyways, still moving good. These are pretty high-risk areas to own the stock in relation to swing trading because the targets on the downside will put you negative, right? The targets on the downside for when this corrects will be to 380 to 336, so that's the downside target. So by buying at 448, the bearish downside target move on a swing will be to 370, so you're at a guaranteed loss by taking ownership here, so to speak, for a big, longer hold. Obviously, trading purposes would probably be just fine. It's debatable whether or not to add a small short to AMC here. I mean, the market's getting smoked. AMC hit its first resistance point. I mean, if I wanted to short it, I probably should have already done it, though. All right, so that's first stock on the day that we've watched, we've moved into, and the stock has done pretty much what we said it was going to do. So that's good. Yeah, I mean, obviously it'll run into issues with the wash sell rule. Yep. AMD short. Well, you remember we were saying you get, AMD's bearish through the green box, so to speak. You can see we've started going through that green box, so I couldn't hold that level, at least for now. Also, the market's just getting annihilated, so the market's a little bearish. Part of me thinks that AMD's not actually going to continue selling down here yet. Let's see, I don't know. Market's a little bearish. We'll see. Market. So you came down below. You tried to bounce back into, and then market hits you back down. There goes a nice bearish play there. By the way, like I said, I was all out of AMC when I got up to that 34-ish mark or whatever. Just sold 1,000 on AMD. Riot on the move. Very nice. Yeah, Riot, you know, like I said, I think Riot's target's going to be something about 41 or so, 41.50. Let's take a quick peek at Bitcoin here. Bitcoin still moving a little bit. Okay. Part of me thinks that AMD is going to come back up and like pull like a weird squeeze, but I'm not sure yet. I'm still kind of watching it. The market would probably have to bounce in order for that to even happen. So by the way, I'm going to close that Uber swing trade that we had from a couple days back. So all out of Uber fully. Still holding on Pinterest. AMD with a very aggressive buyback candle there. Okay, so no successful break of the green box. So, I mean, we broke, but again, we're coming back up to retest it right now. So AMD's just entered back into that kind of level. CAN and Riot are on the scanners. So in this instant, for immediate follow through to the downside, we want AMD to stay below 109.30. If it starts coming back over 109.30, then it should kind of jump up a slightly bit, a little more. The Nasdaq is currently bouncing back up on the day. Hence why AMD is probably bouncing a little bit. VXRT. No, VXRT up at 929. I remember we were following this. Ooh, I see. I see what's going on there. This thing is trying to break out. Is it going to be successful? I mean, if it does, what's it going to move? It's right on resistance this morning. I mean, that pullback with AMD does not look the best. Yeah, it does look like they might try to move this a little lower. I haven't pulled the trigger on a short. If I wanted to, I probably already should have done it. So there's that. I'm gonna go check on Pinterest really quickly. Big bounce back up in the market. Yeah, SPY's got a decent bounce going on. The Nasdaq's bouncing pretty well. NCTY. Added some bearish to AMC, or AMD, sorry. So AMD is starting to go down a little bit. Nice little down move. Covered majority as we came into that previous bottom. So I'm anticipating we're going to do a slight little double bottom here maybe. And the candle's going to try to pop back up. But next bearish play would be for a break of the low there. So there goes the break of the low. But market's still bouncing up. But anyways, quick little downswing there on AMD. It was kind of fast. Again, I don't entirely recommend people following into trades that we're doing here live. There is a slight delay onto YouTube, just an FYI. So by the time you hear me do something, you're going to already be 10, 15 seconds past. BYND, more on the bull side. I think that's going to continue going to the upside in general. Maybe, to like 132-ish. Oh, man. Ooh, AMD coming back up. So this might, this might take out some shorts on that bottom or continue to. So we might look for a little dip buy on AMD to kind of jump the stock back up. Then again, the market's retraced all the way back up probably to resistance, so we probably won't do that right now, actually. HDFC, I mean, I guess I'll ask, but if this stock ends up being complete dog shit, I will literally ban you from my channel in 2 seconds. HDFC does not even pull up a stock, so let's just try that one more time. Yep, that's cool. So we'll do that one more time, HDFC. And yep, there is no ticker to be found. So it looks like, bye-bye, you gone. Sorry, Raul. You're probably a good guy, but we can't have that. Sorry, bud. We can't have people commenting, spamming our chat, asking us to look at stock tickers that don't even exist. All right, all right. This isn't arts and crafts class, kids. Because then that takes away from everybody else. UNCG going for a bounce. UNCY? Maybe. Penny stock MDIA just hit the scanner. This thing's up big, so this will be fun maybe. And it's halted. I just now noticed it, so I'm a tad bit late to this. So chances are by the time we get around to this, the market's already going to enter an overbought location. So this is typically how the game works, all right? So MDIA, you will see, yes, if you look, yes, you see, so yeah, I'm just kidding. So market on MDIA, when it unhalts, probably going to hit a price of $9.13 to a price of $8.82. So I'm just going to say it right now, when the stock MDIA unhalts, if in the event you see it up at the price of $8.81, so the price, oh wow, I didn't even think about that. That could go all the way to $10.75. It could, but before I do that, that would just be pretty far off. So, so right now we're gonna recommend MDIA when it unhalts. You'll see a price target of $8.82 to about $9.11. In the event that happens, there's a great chance that the market will try to sell it down a bit. In the event we're really lucky, we'll see a price target of $10.75 to $10.23. So for now, the suggested max target I'll give anybody here online right now, the max target for this today, for me right now, will be $10.27 to $10.75. The logical price target that makes most sense currently would probably be anywhere from $8.82 to $9.11. Let's take a look at the level 2 on MDIA. So if we take a look at the level 2 on MDIA, which is currently halted, MDIA is showing an opening price of $7.80. So this would actually mean that MDIA has pulled back through the halt as opposed to going higher, which typically isn't the case. So that's kind of interesting. unless I'm looking at that wrong. Hold on one second. It got halted at 828. Okay. Now the halt price is back to 828, and see it's at 8. So look at it. See how it's at 828? So behind the scenes, these are market makers going through orders, looking at how many people bought, how many people sold, how many orders are coming in, how many didn't go in, and they're readjusting the stock to open up what they believe it should open up after this halt. So stock gets halted, a bunch of people buying. Halts, market makers behind the scenes are trying to decide whether or not, when they unhalt the price, what the accurate pricing should be. It halted at 828. The level says it's going to open at 828 right now. So again, if the halt opened right now, the price will open at 828. Okay. And so just want to show you guys that from a visual perspective, what you're going to see on level 2 behind the scenes when something's halting. But for now, I'm just going to move this back to my shit where it's at, and I'll just let you know the pricing via my mouth. So yeah, we got I don't know when this is going to unhalt, but it won't be long. Dude, no way. Message, wait, is that your username? Message deleted? Because that's pretty nifty, and you're kind of an asshole for doing that, but I'll give it to you. It's kind of funny. But so you've come over from Matt's channel to here. Well, I appreciate you. All right, so market open MDIA at 828. All right, and just note that MDIA is overbought. Look at where it's at in relation to today's trend. So this is where the market's at. This is the trend, so it is overbought on the intraday. We're spiking up. Very nice, very nice. No shares to short. That's a bummer. There's your 882 price. So that's a good selling point. If you're already long, you should sell some there. Or wait, never. I can't tell you to do that. This is not financial advice. Don't do that. Connor, if you were long, I would sell there. If Connor was long, which I'm not, I almost pressed to get long, but I was a second too late, so I had to wait. But you see how fast that was? So there's your first price target. There is your second price target to the penny. And I would definitely be looking to sell some there. And now if you're lucky, it will go up to the next price target, which would be 1025 to 1075. But we're not going to suggest that target because it's so far outside of the realm of possibility right now because of where the trend's at and how things are located. It could happen, but for me to suggest it to you would basically be like that'd actually be like me giving you, I shouldn't say that, I'll probably you know, it would be like me giving you one of those things that you can open up and you can put 6 things inside. You can spin it, click it, and then go like that. Yeah, that's like that. I'd be telling you to play Russian roulette if I told you to go up to 1020. So it's like that. I'd be telling you to play Russian roulette if I told you to go to 1020 right now. Uh-huh. BNGO, time to get in. I mean, I've been in BNGO for a couple days now. So it looks like it's still just kind of holding resistance below the half deviation price, which again is completely fine. So might just have to sit on this for another day, a couple days before we decide, you know, if we're going to actually break the half deviation. But I've been long for a couple days, still holding long. Not up a bunch of money. We really haven't made a big move from it in general. So just kind of sitting. I don't even know the news on MDIA. I didn't know the news, I didn't read the news, or even do any of that before picking the price target. I just looked at the stock, look at the volatility, measured the market, and picked the price target. And sure enough, he went to it. Now, there's no shares of short, but if there were shares of short, I would have took a short play right here against the long market, but we had no shares of short in MDIA, so I didn't. But if we could have, I would have started entering short in 882s and 910s, looking for this breakdown move. BNGO holding a decent dip there. So again, that was the first attempt on the day to get over the level. So again, we might get a break up here through that 630 price a little bit later. So the gentleman that asked about BNGO, still keep an eye on it for like some sort of consolidation move up and through the 630. That could be the one that leads to the jump move. We have 358 likes, so I appreciate you guys, but the goal is to get up to 500 today, because I think we've hit 430, but we've never yet hit 500 likes on a stream. So if to get to 500 likes, you have to take your forehead and smash your desk, please do that. And then if you need a first aid kit afterwards, I can mail you one. But at least for now, you know, be a team player. Break your pinky. Smash the like button. So that would be cool. We never broke the 500 count, so that would be miraculous. Okay. All right, let's pop back over to AMC. Like I said, the only real things I've been doing, I've been long Doge this morning. Let's check on Mr. Dog Coin. How are you doing? So the coin of dogs. No. I think somehow I accidentally sold all my Doge today. I didn't want to do that. I think I accidentally sold it all. So that's kind of dumb. So that was dumb. Yeah. Well, anyways, I don't have a position in Doge now that I'm looking. I thought I only sold 70%, but somehow I must have made a mistake and clicked sell all as opposed to 30%. Okay. So, I don't own that anymore. Well, at least I made money on it. That's cool. GameStop is Mick ripping? GameStop is Mick ripping. Oh, and I don't know why, but I feel like I should take a short onto GameStop. So I'm just gonna do some. I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna short GameStop there. I don't even know if it's resistance or not. I have a line there, so I'm just trusting that my line's accurate and that my 9-day moving average is accurate. And then it's just gonna pull back a little bit. I could totally be wrong here. I just jumped in on this on the fly. But I'm assuming, based on my analysis, it should be off of something. Oh, what do you know? Yeah, it is. So you can see the GameStop jump back up into the 9-day moving average, and it jumped back up into the +1 deviation mark. So theoretically, that was probably the long target on the day. This is a resistance point, so it's not a really good one because we're coming from a low into that high. So I don't really know how profitable that short trade can really be. AMC is kind of coming back up on the day. So I wonder if we get sort of like a U-shaped move and we rip up higher later in the day. Yeah, GameStop's still pressing that level. So you can see how he went up to the 9-day and this level. So it's really not the greatest play. Let's see. Because we jumped up, we're overbought, but I just don't know if this is really going to retrace all that much. Looks kind of strong off that bottom, like it's meant to be going up. Let's check the daily chart. Maybe that will do something for us. No. Yeah, I think today's a day where, now that I'm looking at, GameStop might just meant to be on the long. But we'll see. Yeah, it's definitely a bull day on AMC, but we are on a resistance point, so I think this is still going to be sort of the correction spot, and then maybe it remains a bullish stock throughout the day. I would just be pretty surprised if it continued to keep running right now. but I could be wrong. Yeah, maybe I would look, since it's sort of strong, you know, it might be best just to try to get like maybe this downer move more towards like the +4 mark, probably not too much more than that. And even still, it's still struggling. All right, there goes the drop from our friend GameStop. Wasn't even really to cover on that drop. The drop was so fast. Market makers kept the spread so wide that you really couldn't even make money from that, unfortunately. That's pretty annoying. That's typically how market makers work. They try to dick you around. Assholes. Yeah, so at this point, the only way the market makers will allow for profit for most of the shorts in this top is by dropping it below the +4 deviation mark. So until you actually get candles closing below and the market makers allow for a shift in the spread, that's not going to make any money. No, I would not long AMC in anticipation of earnings. Very nice. I like pancakes. Oh, AM's or GameStop. Don't think it's quite going to do what we want it to do. We've already sat in this top a little bit. AMC's currently on more of a bullish look. Going to close GameStop. It's just not even worth it at this point. Market's still trailing down a little bit here this morning. GNOG. Oh yeah, I mean I already know GNOG is the buyout stock, so again, probably not going to do a whole lot of more movement from what you've already seen. So again, not going to really do much with GNOG. Yep, we were out of Uber mostly that first day, but I just closed my last little play on Uber today. But yeah, we were out of Uber mainly full position the day, the first day it happened. The first day it made that big move for the most part, because it hit most of its swing targets on the same day. So what typically would take maybe a couple days to do, it did in a day. So. Nope, I'm not shorting RBLX. RBLX is plus 4 deviations, but it's coming from a down move into an up move, so it's meant to be above those levels today. It is overbought on the intraday, but over the longer term picture, it's meant to be going upwards, which is the same thing with GameStop. That's why GameStop short did not work very well. We weren't on a high point selling off resistance. We're coming from a low point on the long term, bought up into a resistance. And so anyways, yeah, it's just not gonna play out all that well. Would I short FTFT? Maybe. No. I don't think I will. It's at the regression level. We tried to break it the other day, pulled back. Then we try to break it today and then pulled back. So just kind of, I mean, yeah, it is at a short level. Yes, it is at a shorting level. I don't feel comfortable enough to do it. I don't care enough to short FTFT, but it is at a level that can very well pull back, yes. Yep. 10:07. I would like to wiggle in another good trade here for the day. MDIA, yeah, MDIA is most likely done. That's why, again, we suggested you were only long to the 880 to 890. You did not want to be buying in that zone. So yeah, MDIA, yeah, most likely done for the day. I mean, yeah, it might bounce. It's probably going to bounce back up a little bit, but it's not going to be enough to go back up to 889.90 right now. And if it did, it would be, you would have gotten extremely lucky, and that's not the typical situation. BNGO. I mean, yeah, BNGO is just consolidating below that 630 price, like we mentioned. So ideally, you're just looking for BNGO to claim prices of like 635 or so, or 632-ish. I mean, yeah, BNGO is still sitting in the same situation it was, quite a bit ago. Not too much of a difference there. LMNL, maybe. Actually, this kind of has potential. So let me think. So first attempt, regression level, pull back. And that was there, you got over. Held support in that zone. Yeah, LMNL would have to break above. LMNL has to stay above this red line. So you see where the current price of LMNL is pulling back to? This red line, it has to stay above that immediately for it to continue ripping. It's possible LMNL goes all the way up to the daily chart level. God damn it, AMC. I was waiting on that, and now it's jumping. Nice up move from AMC there. But yeah, I mean, I was literally waiting for AMC for like the longest time, and then I turned it off I turned it off for a second, and now of course it spikes up. That's pretty frustrating there. You know, it would be nice to see AMC get all the way up, maybe that last price target, but I don't know. It might not do that today. Might have just double top. Let me see. I mean, if we're lucky, AMC goes to the next price target. Why would it be wrong? That's figures fucking return. You know, if you click the link and it doesn't take you there, it's because Webull sent me an invalid link because they're probably idiots. That's probably it. Let's see. No, links work just fine for me. So I'm not sure what the issue is, but works just fine. I mean, LMNL, that penny stock, really, it's still just kind of struggling where it's at. BNGO just actually got up and through, arguably, its resistance. So hopefully that holds up okay and keeps moving good. Oh, the SPY is still grinding down. MVST early. Oh, yeah. I'm going to pass on MVST myself. Not that I don't think it can continue moving well. It's just a recent IPO. I don't get a ton of data off it. max prices would be into the 15s to 16s on that for me, I guess. AMD still moving with authority. That ended up holding that. Remember I was saying, unless it successfully breaks down this level, that's where the short plays at. So you can see the market move bearish into it. It broke down briefly, but really couldn't sustain that breakdown. And then you grind back up and over, hence the long play. So that's just a failed breakdown attempt from AMD today. Wow, LMNL just threw everybody for an absolute rip to the downside. That's frustrating. Yeah, I mean, I'll take a look at AHPI here. AHPI squeezing up to 986, so probably going to be at resistance here in about 2 seconds. So AHPI. Yeah, you're probably going to want to sell AHPI. Yeah, I mean, this is a good selling location theoretically from AHPI on the day. Maybe you can get up to 1030, but yeah, it's a good selling location for the day. Yeah, I don't really trust Works enough to try to put money on that. That's a pretty sketchy stock so far. So today's stream was nice. I think we hit a high viewership this morning of 468. I think that was the highest number of viewers we've ever had. So that's cool. That allows us, at least tells me that the stream is slightly increasing and going up in viewership. So that's good. That's always a good thing. So Bitcoin is up to 46,400 or so. Time. So we still have to get up to 500 likes on the stream. We're at 439. We're not getting off until we hit 500 likes. Only because that would be a personal best on a live stream, I think. So we got to get there, and then we'll be good. We'll be dandy. We'll be just fine, just fine. So yeah, I don't really see a whole lot more moving right now. The scanner that I have isn't necessarily populating too many things for the time being. We kind of did the AMC trade this morning, so that was kind of like the one thing that I had kind of mapped out and planned this morning, which we traded, which pretty much worked. So hoping that within the next 40 minutes or so, something is going to populate for us. Uber's picking up in steam. AMD's going. continued streaming if we hit 500 McLikes. All right, then I will make a deal for you. If we get to 550 likes, then I will stream for an extended hour to 12 o'clock today. But I won't stream longer than 12, because if we get to 12, then I'm going to be hungry. And if I ain't 8, then I'm going to be a little mean girl. And I'm going to chop your heads off. So 550, we'll stream to 12. But that would have to happen before 11, which is most likely going to happen, I think. So appreciate that, guys. I appreciate you. All right, let's take a look at Uber. I haven't seen it since, I don't even remember, last week. So you guys know as well as I do that I sold my last little small position on Uber today, which really wasn't a lot, because I was satisfied with the trade that we made on Uber, which was pretty much long from down here up to there. Now, I still think that in the future we can see Uber making another move higher, but for what we were doing in the immediate and in the short term, that was really good enough for a trade there on that. So happy with that, all good. AHER extended, AHER. I mean, yeah, Thinkorswim, I would like to view the stock AHER, not Uber. Like, you see what I'm saying? Sometimes, right now I'm looking at the stock works, but the ticker symbol says AHER. Sure, yeah, I'm sure that makes total sense. Thanks, Thinkorswim. Can always count on you to suck. Maybe it's just Thinkorswim freezing. So it looks like Thinkorswim's just having issues right now across the board. Yeah. Oh no, just did wrong ticker symbol, someone told me. That's it. So yeah, this would be more of a swing trading stock. Typically, the volume doesn't really lead me to believe that I'd really want to be day trading it, but you could be wrong. You just got over these previous highs. You just got through the +2 deviation mark, which is staying beige these days. Oh, is that because I have... I don't need that. I shouldn't need any of that. I don't even have that on there. I wonder why. Thank gosh. So, anyways, yeah, this is currently on the move. You might look for a 680 target on this today. Yeah, I think you can still be long this, but I don't really want to be long right now because we've already blown up on the day. We're into the +2, +3. So this would really have to be an extremely big breakout day for it to trend above 650 and hit 680. So it's just not positioned for me to take a long yet or on it. Yeah, the stock works. Is still just basically chilling. Hasn't moved in a while. Oh, that's because, never mind. I see what's going on. That doesn't even make sense. This is dumb. Yeah, but anyways, works is still just kind of sitting, chilling. Hasn't really made up its mind yet. It's 11 likes to 500, but 550 is what gets us streaming for another hour. So, you guys do your job, and I'll do mine. Alrighty. Give me a second. I will be right back. Alrighty, I am back here, folks. So, looks like AEHR still rising a little bit. AHPI did a little pullback, popped up a little bit more, still holding up pretty well in the +3, +4 area. So, if it doesn't sell off where I was originally thinking, which would be like basically now, yeah, I mean, I think you might see max 1030, and that's what I was kind of thinking. I mean, like that's why I was like, I don't really care to be long, because I figured that 1030 would probably be a resistance, so you'd be getting long around 970, hoping to get to 930 with the spread, and it just wasn't really worth it for me there. Holy smokes, we have broken over the desired amount. Yeah, AMC got back up to that 34.12 mark, or 34.12, almost 34.20, which was the recommended long target to start for the day on AMC. Now, I guess the better question now is like, is it actually going to hit the further target of 35.22? I would be impressed. Works kind of looks like it's trying to make a move. CARV just came across the scanner. Wonder if that's doing anything special. Kinda. Carve. Almost up to 19. Could Carve hit the 19 to 920 mark today? And not really a lot of volume there. Me too, Maurice. Me too, my man. All right, so is BNGO a 6-month cup and handle? It's still sitting there trying to get over that 630. He said 6-month cup and handle, so this would be over a half a year. So let me look at the yearly chart. I don't see one yet. No, I don't really see BNGO as like a cup and handle formation myself. I more or less kind of see like this being maybe more of a bull flag on BNGO kind of setup, right? If you could just imagine this for a second, like it's almost. So right now we're attempting to break the half deviation. If it's successful, I would imagine in the next couple days you'll see. So if I'm right about BNGO, we will see the price of. There goes AHPI selling down now. So yeah, if I'm right about BNGO, we probably would see it pop up to. Yeah, maybe 715 or so over the next couple weeks. Wish. Wish already trading in +3, +4. Too high on the day. FTFT hit the scanner again. So that. Sorry. My gosh. I had a really, really long weekend. A lot of time out in the sun this weekend, family, friends, hosting, so definitely a little exhausted. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on FTFT. Yeah, on Saturday night I dropped friends off at a wedding, picked them up from the wedding. I wasn't at the wedding, and then went back to their house. Ended up having a couple beers. Then we ended up going on 2 nighttime boat rides, which led me to getting home at 3 in the morning. And then I got a call at 8 in the morning that one of the tenants got stuck in the bathroom at my rental house. So I had to wake up at 8 in the morning and run all the way 40 minutes out of the way to go fix a doorknob. Because I didn't know that you could put a screwdriver in there and turn the door jamb to unlock the door. So that was fun. And then I had my family over, grilled, and so on and so forth. So that was fun. Yeah, nothing better than getting out of the shower at 8:03 or 8:06 to, I'm locked in the bathroom, save me. Oh my God, rough. All right, so again, like I said, I'm just kind of sitting back. I'm just going to kind of start surfing through some plays and just see if there's something that interests me. I mean, dude, Works is still sitting there fighting, kind of trying to do a breakup move. Basically, Works is a situation where you're kind of just waiting for short sellers to hopefully squeeze out. So this weekend ended up shooting like a 44, 43 at golf. On Wednesday, I shot a 39. The week before that, I shot a 40 with a quadruple bogey, so I was going to shoot even par 2 weeks ago until I decided that I wanted to be a complete jackass on the second to last hole. That was cool. You need shorts to cover for a pop. That would be 100% correct. Only 9 on Wednesdays, and then I only did 9 this weekend. But I do obviously play 18, but this was just a weekend where I was just busy, didn't have time. DKNG. Yeah, so that's still just kind of sitting, doing its thing. I don't think there's anything to do with DKNG right now. I mean, you know, DKNG is doing the same thing it did the other day, which is spike up, sell back down below the mean, sort of. Spike back out today, sold back down to the mean. So I can't say that you're going to get a bunch of money by being long on this right now. I think this is a situation where you either dip by and you're going to have to hold for tomorrow for a gain, or there's not going to be one, or we just kind of wait it out till tomorrow and see how we end up forming up. Is xela breaking the 320s? If it's breaking the 320s, then we could suggest it might still be a long. So you can see here goes xela up into those price targets we told you earlier this morning pre-market they would have to break in order to suggest that xela is going to make another big move. So xela is up the price targets we suggested for the day. Let me look at it on this screen, but there might be a trade there. I mean, yeah, xela is like right on resistance, so there's no long play yet unless it's going through. Like I said, that it's not that there's no long play. You're either supposed to be buying it up long, trying to get it to retest resistance today, or the next long play is going to be the break over 335. And so for me, I knew that, you know, there's only sort of a bounce up to 335, and then the true breakout's going to be above 335. What about Uber? Nothing to do for Uber. Uber's kind of bounced back off its earnings, so I don't think there's much to do with Uber for right now. Carve moving nicely. Yeah, I mean, I'll go back and look at it. If it's into my price targets, then... Yeah, so Carve just got up into one of the price targets I would consider would be a short at. All right, so starting to put a small short on CARV. I won't mind if CARV goes all the way up to a price of 20 to 20.30. So I'm kind of taking a position where if it goes all the way up to 21 or 20 to $20.30, that's completely fine. So watching Carve on the short side right now. Still think it has a little bit of a press again, potentially up to 20. So we'll see. No, you can't short on Robinhood. No, I'm using Lightspeed to bet bearish. Oh, that's frustrating. Did I literally, like, same thing with AMC. I literally take works off for like a second and it finally pops in. Yeah. I mean, it's not even really that great of a move, so I don't even really care. That's fine. Those are kind of boring, hard trading moves anyways. All right, we're starting to see a little bit of a bearish move there with CARV. All right, there goes Carve, kind of working its way down a little bit. It's nice. I mean, really not making a bunch of money. It needs a bigger move than that. But like I said, this level we're at 19, could be the starting move of more of a corrective drop. And if I'm wrong about this, then the corrective drop probably happens around 20 to 2030. So I know if I'm wrong, then I'll probably get squeezed up about a point and have to adjust, add a little, and then we'll be good. But there's that first little pullback around that price with Carve that we talked about. So that's good. Nice little play there. CARV, short, working. Took off a little bit on that drop, by the way. So, yeah, making sure I keep my... You will see that xela stopped at the price of 336. As we mentioned, 336, 335. That is the fresh breakout level. That's why you're seeing such a strong rejection there. Pins, and I'll take a look back at it. I'm slightly green on pins today, but I mean, yeah, I'm still not too certain with pins. I'm not adding any more long right now. But yeah, my excuse me. I know every day that goes by, I do feel we're gonna see pins go lower. So this might be a situation where pins gives out that bottom we're talking about, and it finds itself down towards 54 to 51. So we'll see. I mean, we're in a lower risk buying zone for sure, right? If you look back at the chart, you'd be significantly worse off buying around 70s, 73s, 74s, as opposed to buying down in the 50s, 60s, and so on. So we are in a better buying area than we have been in the past with pins to a degree. So. 507 likes. Let's go, baby. I appreciate all of you guys helping out with that. That's awesome. What about a gap fill for pins? I mean, yeah, there is a gap to fill. Absolutely. Markets like to fill gaps. So, again, my desired buying points, one of them's already happened. Next ones are down at 54, long target. So I'll just pretty much, hold on one second. So for me, again, this is kind of the next low risk buy zone for Pinterest. So if it drops more, I would assume it's going to drop down near this box. So that's the next low risk buy zone for Pinterest. Okay, the resistance zone for Pinterest right now is going to be, so it's pretty much there to say 60 over 70s. Yeah, 64.70. I mean, realistically, the long zone's like this. Or sorry, the selling target is like that big. So anywhere into those prices. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Anywhere into these prices is a good selling area, theoretically. So that's it. Yeah. Long right now, next long zone, and everything in that red box is where I'd be looking to sell that market. Which basically encompasses the gap fill. You have +1s, you have +2s, you got a bunch of deviations lines, you got regression levels that all kind of match up in the gap fill area. So yeah, gap fill is the long trade that you're basically going for now, to a degree. But like I said, it can still go lower before it happens. Whew. Well, there goes Works all the way up to that 488 price, which is the previous high from the last time it jumped. Yeah, we broke our record on likes today, ladies and gentlemen. That is awesome. If we continue every day to break the record amount of likes that we've gotten, then the YouTube algorithm is definitely going to start hopefully favoring our channel, because if it can progressively become more and more likes, then you would think that the algorithm would progressively continue to promote it more and more and more. So we'll see if that holds true, but I definitely need the help from you guys to make that happen. You made $500 on AMC. Thank you for your insight. Thank you. And just so you don't forget, there is this little circle thing, square thing with a $sign down at the bottom. If you ever want to donate on me making you guys money on plays, that's also part of the objective, is to hopefully give correct enough analysis to the point where you guys can literally make money using it. Like, that's the objective of these streams, is that hopefully the analyses are correct enough that you either avoid taking something that's too overbought, not right, or you jump in on something that's right and you're able to maneuver the market properly, hopefully on your own eventually too. So that's the goal. Yeah, Bonnie, yeah, if that's your name, we do stream daily, usually 3 hours a day, but today everyone was all crazy, yiped up on stimulants or something, maybe their stimulus checks, and they want me to go for another hour or so. As soon as we hit 550 likes, which is probably going to happen because you guys are awesome, we're going to stream for one more hour here today till 12 o'clock. The thanks is not available today. That's odd. It should always be available. There should always be at the bottom of the chat like a little $sign that's always available. But I'm never using it from like the other side, so it's kind of is a little different. So anyways, pins, like I said, we'll still be following that one long. XELA rejected the 335 price as mentioned. The only way it kind of breaks out more is you got to get up and through the 335 price. $1K on AMD, thanks to you. Thank you. Just made $45 off the Qs. Nice. Rania, what did you say the first time you're streaming is? Titan, I did not get the email. I don't think I got the email. So I'm going to open up my email right now, and I'll resend my email to you. But I was waiting for it. I never saw it, unless I just like missed it somehow. I do get a lot of emails, so wait. I don't. One second. Oh wait, is your name Carmela Carrillo? Is that you? Joanne Corley Schwarz. I love you and I love your last name. Thank you very much. Phil, you guys are awesome. Thank you. I do spend a lot of time here, But yeah, tied in, is your name Carmela Carrillo? Because if it is, then I did get the stream or get it. No, that's not you. That's someone else asking for me to send them something. Never mind. That's going to be marked as unread. So yeah, here, let me just... Okay, there's my email again. Maybe I typed it wrong the last time. Nice. Michigan. Yeah, Michigan could be a fun place. Yeah, resend in a moment, but that is definitely the email. So again, also, if any of you guys are interested in also helping moderate in our YouTube chat, which really doesn't really take like a ton, you don't take on a super amount of big responsibility doing it. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. It's just for people who are generally here in the stream every day, working, hanging out, just managing and making sure nobody's doing anything too crazy, which we never really get anybody in this chat room doing anything too crazy. So if you are interested in that, you can email me at connorpolifrone@boilerroomtrading.com and email me that you're interested, and then we can open up a discussion about all that. Okay, let me pop out my scanner again. Ooh, the stock Neuro's moving. Neuro. Didn't that crash recently? So this could be a good day. Yeah, Lego. Finally, it's bouncing a bit. Neuro on the rip. Oh, but it's already pretty much made that move. So we're kind of late to that. Neuro maybe pops up to 17. Come on, Thinkorswim, move faster for me so I don't miss a place. This is the other problem is Thinkorswim slower than shit because of all the things I run to do my analysis, and by the time I do my analysis, a lot of times things already happen, and it's like, motherfucker. So, Neuro, when I look at this, I guarantee it's going to be overbought on the intraday, which is going to be annoying, which suggests it's going to take longer if it wanted to move higher, and so on and so forth. Mother trucker. No shares is short on Neuro. What a shame. But anyways, this would be our desired shorting lever for Neuro, 1728 to 18. So if in the event Neuro does spike into these prices, you definitely don't want to be long. You definitely want to be selling. So that's kind of annoying. There's no shares of short on Neuro, and it's going to end up being a fantastic short play where you're going to end up making a bunch of money probably. So unfortunate that the market won't allow for participation in that way, at least through Lightspeed today. Yeah, no, we are going to make some new stuff. Definitely. That's just on the list of things to do. 100%. Also, how about this? If anybody in here is a graphics designer that does a lot of t-shirt work, anything like that, that is interested in working with me and helping create and sort of brand some of our t-shirts, and not even just for Boilerroom Trading, but just anything in general, trading, investing related that wants part in on that, send me a message and an email at the email that I am listing down here below. Oh wait, no, that's not it. That's completely wrong. That is a really old email that I never use, but just from memory, it had to come out. So it's kind of... Yes. So, Connor Polifrone at boilerroomtrading.com. If you're into graphic designing, do anything along that profession, please feel free to contact me because I have yet to really hammer out things like that. So we have 10 minutes here till about 11 o'clock. So we got to get 20 more likes on the stream, but there's also 320 of you, which you could have already liked the stream, but we'll see. We're getting there. We're close. But like I said, it would be nice to see this Neuro pop up a little more into like that 17 price. I just don't know if it can sustain over the +4 deviation and still make that move. Yeah, if that red candle comes down and start breaking the lows of the previous 1 minute candles, they're going to probably swing this back down to 15.15. So they broke the green candles there. Market's moving down. Just hit the volume weighted average price, which, whatever. Yeah, Neuro, tricky guy. SPY's holding up well today. That's good. Stickers for the stream, fun ones. Yeah, I was actually going to get around to creating that. That's another thing on the to-do list, 100%. Do you check the comments plays or just what the scanner shows? Yeah, I look at comments and I look at plays and I decide whether or not I want to do anything there. But yeah, I definitely look at comments. So there goes Neuro down to the 15.30 price, which was mentioned about 3 seconds ago. Fubo was one mentioned here. He said, I think it said Fubo short. No, not short Fubo. I don't really. No, at least not yet. Let's see. I mean, no, not really. I'd be more bullish Fubo. Not like I would buy it right now, but overall more bullish that. The level that you're on right now really just isn't good enough to suggest a short play. So I would stay on the long side of Fubo as opposed to being short bias. I should make a fitness channel. I don't think I should make a fitness channel. I'd rather make a golf channel, ride around, drink a Michelob, and swing a golf club. But that's just me, you know. BCTX, I'll take a look at BCTX. Nope, you should not short GNOG. Again, GNOG is a buyout, so price action is most likely going to stay where it's at. So again, for those of you that are on the stream that have never heard that before, whenever a company or a stock gets bought out, generally speaking, the company will not move a ton on that trading day. It'll either stay flat or do minimal choppy movement back and forth every time. So don't even question it. What I just told you is 100% certain. Listen to it every single time. Don't trade the stock, and you'll have a better life. Thumbs up. Fitness whole pizza in my mouth channel. That's pretty funny. That's a good one. Okay. What do you say? NRXP? Maybe. So this BCTX, that was another one asked just a little bit ago, and yeah, so BCTX, I mean, it's really not going to make a big move until it breaks the +1 deviation mark. Resistance was at about 609. If it breaks successfully, you can target up to 7. So you get about $1 move in the event you break $6 on BCTX correctly. Actually, that's a lie. You only have about a 50-cent move. So 50 cent to $1, you'd have to break the 50-cent target first to make the dollar. So for right now, BCTX, maybe a 50-cent move over the $6 price is 646, 650. That's about it. I got some Bitcoin at 38K, so things are looking up. Very nice. NAOV, AMD. I probably am not going to make too many more trades here. I just haven't seen anything that's convinced me. NAOV did a little bounce, got to overbought, pulled back, corrected. Nah, don't really care for NAOV. Well, I mean, NAOV is actually holding up pretty well. So this is ideally what you're looking for. You see how it spiked up? Hold on. Spiked up, then pulleth backeth, then it goeth upeth, and then it do this consolidation. Well, the consolidation, people say this is a bull flag, or it's a pennant, or it's an ascending triangle, or who really gives a shit what they call it. They all really have the same outcome. They either go up or they go down. So in the middle of this, you're going to see an inverse head and shoulders as well. Pretty much all pennants you see generally have an inverse head and shoulder or a head and shoulders pattern in them if they're bearish, so on and so forth. So this has an inverse head and shoulder taking place in the formation of like a bull flag / a pennant, triangle, if you may, and the objective. And then you'd obviously would write, typically most people would say, or if it's a flat top, which this one's kind of a flat top sort of scenario, right? You can see it's tops, 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 tops. So, you know, a lot of people look at this as like a flat top and go, oh, like as soon as we break out over these tops, then we can break out. Well, yeah, that's exactly true. So as soon as this market can get up and actually break the +4 deviation mark, which is at 280, then you can suggest there might be another breakout. And this is also the other problem why people lose a lot of money or have such trouble trading into patterns, because they see a pattern, they believe a pattern is supposed to do something, when in reality, it's not necessarily supposed to go up, right? So if you look at this, if we were to look at, you know, this without a flag on it, or sorry, let me rephrase that. That was just, I'm speaking nonsense at this point. You know, if we were to look at it like this, you know, 1 second. So if we were to take my channel off, so we'll take that off. Oh, that's not even, was that it? No, I don't even, oh, yeah, apply. Yeah, so if we do that, right, you know, let's zoom in here on this guy. Or not. Yeah, so look at it from like, and I'm going to delete this drawing because it's just kind of ugly looking. Who cares? So yeah, if you look at works here on this screen, you'd be like, oh, this kind of looks like a pennant that's supposed to break up. Like, true, yeah. But if you do look at this chart, you'd be like, oh, well, shit, there's resistance right above. So that's a problem when you don't run standard deviation, is you can look at a chart and think things look great, but in reality, if you don't run standard deviation, you have zero clue where true trending resistance is typically at. So right now in this situation, if you didn't run it, you're looking at a bull flag and you go, oh, this thing could break up and then it's going to go all the way back to 380. It's like, well, yeah, it could do that, but the true resistance is right there. So you need to make sure it gets to the +4 deviation mark first. And you're trading at +3, which is already overbought. So that's a nice thing about the channels, is it really helps you understand, you know, like where all your price levels should be at. So that's just all I'm trying to explain. All right, we got up to 543. That's good enough. I will continue hanging out for one more hour today. If we're lucky, something good will happen. If we're probably not lucky, which is more likely, nothing's going to happen. But optimism is key. Are you sure DKNG is bullish? I mean, sure. I don't know if that was actually pointed at me specifically, but I would just suggest you go back and start watching channels on my YouTube video, or start watching videos on my YouTube channel, and then you'll learn how to add them to your chart. Or you just go to boilerroomtrading.com. You should just go to boilerroomtrading.com and just pay for the custom scripted one that we made, because if you don't get that one, then you're still going to miss a couple things that the free one doesn't have. And so you just might as well go spend like 30, 40 bucks. You get the custom coded script from boilerroomtrading.com. That would probably be your best bet. And then just go back and watch my YouTube videos about how you can use it. But there's also videos in the deviation script course that teach you how to use it as well. So that would really be my recommendation. All right, Epic Jose, I will see you tomorrow, my man. What is the purpose of the fourth deviation? The purpose of the fourth deviation is the same purpose of all deviations. That's really just it. Yeah. Fourth deviation is just another deviation market stocks kind of run into pretty frequently. So the way I use the 4-1 is basically to say, yeah, markets are extremely overbought. 3 is overbought, but then, markets don't listen perfectly to 3 because people are emotional, so they just buy it up over 3 anyways because they don't even have a clue that that's there. Then they push it up to 4, then the market usually gives in. I very rarely see markets run through 4 deviations successfully and keep trending on the day. Normally, once you get over 3 and then get up towards 4, it's pretty much done for. And you can trust me on that because all you have to do is watch these charts every single day, as I've explained, and it will probably end up doing that, right? So if you don't already know, if you just watch this, a lot of times when a stock gets up to +4 on the day, or the purple line, it generally doesn't keep going too much higher. Let's go. 540. That's like, well, let's see. If we were at 400 the other day, if we got up to about 400 likes the other day, and now we're at 5, then that would be, and 4 would be 100%, and we're at 140, so 2 would be a 50% increase. So we're probably about a 40 to 35% increase in likes from the last stream. Not pretty good. Nope, there's no update about standard deviation in Webull. Actually, funny enough, so the marketing team for Webull entered into the Boiler Room Trading chat room, direct messaged me asking if I would like to be a part of their Webull Influencer program, which I've already been a part of their Webull Influencer program for a long time now. But anyways, they asked me that, and then I said, yes, I'm already a part of your Webull program. Thank you very much. But long story short, yada, yada, yada. Can you guys add in standard deviation to your platform? If you add in standard deviation to your platform, then your user base is going to grow significantly, and it's a must-have. I pretty much told them it's a must-have. So if those people do the smart thing, then they'll add standard deviation. So I have to contact them again because after I had sent that message to her, I believe her name was Yin Lin or Sin Yin. One of the two. But anyways, Yin had messaged me, and I'm like, yeah, I'd love to be an influencer, already am. Will you guys add standard deviation? Didn't hear back from her that day or the next day, so I figured let's go find Yin Lin or Lin Yin or whatever it was, and let's send her a message. And sure enough, she was no longer a part of our chat room 2 days later. So hopefully she took that message with her and got it to the right people because she just straight dipset on me. No buy, no nothing, left me out to high and dry. But anyways, I'm going to email them directly through other contacts I have. I got a couple contacts there. So I'm going to email them and see if they'd be willing to add standard deviation. And if they need to work with me to figure it out, then we can do that too. But so far, I got ghosted is what happened. Yeah. So I don't know if it's this face, my demeanor, but I was ghosted by Yin. So Yin, if you're watching this, my heart hurts. And that was mean. No. We're not negative. It's just dry humor is all. That's just more or less my humor for things. What time do you use for day trading for confirmation of a play? Mr. Ahmad, we use daily chart and 4-hour charts to map out desired levels that you should be entering, and then we look at 1-minute charts as visualization for trading. So we don't use 1 minutes, 5 minutes, or confirmations, or for this or that or this. Basically, just take trades based on supply and demand zone. So as soon as markets enter into what we believe are too overbought, areas where we should be selling the market or areas where we should be buying the market, and that's what we do. So it's not necessarily confirmation this. I mean, sometimes it is, but it's basically based off supply and demand at all times for the most part. What are the top 5 things you would recommend a beginner day trader to learn first? First, I would tell you to learn the statistics behind success in trading, which would be like 9 out of 10 or maybe 85 out of 100, 15 out of 100 people would succeed, 10 out of 100 people succeed. So you have a 90% chance of losing to 85% chance of losing. That was pretty negative, but that's a fact. So first learn that so that you're not surprised when you go in and you probably lose money. Secondly, you're going to want a paper trade. Why paper trade? Just so you can get the hang of a platform, indicators, studies, things like that. Because once market opens, things are hectic, things are moving, you get crazy. The colors are green, the colors are red. They mimic that of a casino. So then you're kind of like, Whoa. So get the hang of what it's like to see market open, see candles moving without even having the idea that you have to take a trade. So learn your indicators, learn your studies, paper trade, just to get the hang of at least a platform. Paper trading will not teach you how to make money because making money comes down to really emotional factors when you're doing it live. So if you make a bunch of money paper trading, know that that's probably not the reality of it when you go to live trading. So learn the statistics behind success, expect you're going to lose, paper trade first, learn your platform's indicators. Then I would, after you've paper traded and kind of develop sort of a system. When I say a system, you yourself may not be developing a system, you're just developing an approach that you find is comfortable to you. So that could come in the fashion of creating a watch list based around technology stocks, and you only focus on those. That could be you use a standard deviation system and you figure out, I don't really like day trading, I like more swing trading, so I'm going to do standard deviation, 1 year day, 1 year chart, and I'm going to take swing trade positions. You could come to the realization, you're like, I don't like that, I just want to focus on day trading penny stocks. So the objective is you want to practice and kind of paper trade, study from me, learn from some others, learn from beginners, and just kind of talk with people so that way you can start to get an idea of what you like. Because that's what the market is. It's more or less about what you want to do and what you like and what makes sense to you and what's comfortable. And you're not going to figure that out other than just doing it on your own and talking to people and practicing. So I wouldn't really suggest putting real money on the line and trading until you've actually come up with an idea or sort of a system or something that you yourself want to follow, and then go for it. And if that doesn't work, that's okay, because then you might just end up saying, you know what, I don't actually like this. Maybe I want to swing trade. Maybe I'm just going to stick to long-term investing, whatever it might be. So for sure, if it's day trading, learn the statistics behind the failure rate. Second, paper trade, learn indicators, things like that. Develop some sort of a system and approach you'd like to use. Hands down, before you even consider trying to put real money on the market. And if you want to put real money on the market before learning all that, then just pick a low risk ETF sort of fund that's going to grow at a moderate rate that you have no risk in. So that way, at least you have money in the market potentially earning you money while you're still learning. And if you don't know how to do that, long-term, low-risk thing, that's okay. Give me like another week and a half, and then each morning when you guys tune in, there's going to be a Webull account that we review and we watch, and that's basically going to be like the benchmark portfolio for our channel so that like 100% anybody can follow if they want to, and the likelihood we lose money is like basically zero because it's very low risk, moderate, and it grows okay. So that's literally like my whole honest opinion, and I'm being brutally honest because I really hate the way this industry lures people in. So yeah, I am the exception to the most. I am. People think I'm pessimistic and negative, which to a degree, sure, maybe at times, but I'm just trying to be brutally honest about the reality of the situation. Woo. And that could be another good one, like what Sean just said there. Trade one share of stock, so it's like you're paper trading, but it's actually still real money. That's another good thing to do. Like, look at this, right? Like, I use my Robinhood account, like, all the time, right? Not that I like Robinhood, don't like it, doesn't even matter. I just have money in it, right? So, like, this account right now, it only has $1,700 in it. Hold on, let me see if I got to look at my screen so I can make sure this doesn't come through blurry. So I have $1,700 in that account, right? And so this is just like a small dick around account. This account usually stays within the range of like $2,000 to $5,000. And then if it gets up, I usually just take money out because it's really just an account to play around with. So it's like, it kind of looks good. I'll take a little bit of that. So this is an account that never gets over leveraged at all. Like, not even close. Like, this is something that's like, I'll take a little here, a little there, a little there. So there's zero emotional time into this because you guys can see I'm streaming and I'm trading here and whatever, right? So I don't even think to look at my phone throughout the day some days. So like, I could buy something and not even think about having it and be like, oh, wait, let me go check that. So generally this account I'll just take really small positions in because I naturally kind of forget about it because I'm not always looking at my phone and I'm working a lot and so on and so forth. So the reason I take these small positions is because just very little emotional time into it. If something happens, you're not paying attention, you're not getting crushed, and so on and so forth. So again, it's just very fun to have at least a small account myself that I just kind of dick around in a trade on. And you guys have seen me do it multiple times. I'm always like, yeah, I'm going to buy a little of this and I'll buy a little of that. And so what I'm getting at is with with Webull, that's going to be similar to that, but it'll be more long-term investing. And then we'll just keep a little cash to do kind of some like basically dick around trades where you try to pad your growth, right? So you use little cash in aggressive markets, generate faster returns, take that growth, put it into the foundation grows, cash grows, and you rinse and repeat the process. So there should be sort of I think a better approach for some of you guys to follow in with, or at least just have a separate portfolio for it. So expect that's going to happen in about a week and a half. So yeah, expect a week and a half, 2 weeks. We're going to have a Webull account here that you guys can kind of play in with too. It'll be fun. What stocks do you have on RH? I have BNGO and ERM or EMR, which is an electric company. So the only things I have in my portfolio right now on this are this. This is my portfolio right now. There's 3 things: EMR, BNGO, and Bitcoin. And you see how low Bitcoin is? It basically, I have that Bitcoin from selling my last big position on Bitcoin, which ended up coming out to me having like basically nothing. I'm like, well, there's no point of ever selling that, so sure. So that's all I have there. I accidentally sold my Doge today. I didn't mean to sell all my Doge today, but I ended up selling all my Doge on accident today. So whatever. So that's cool. And then here's like a growth of the chart from the beginning that I started this chart. Back when you see that really big spike, hold on, that guy, whatever, this big random spike in there, that was back, I think, in the year of 2017. Yeah, 2018, 2017. So that big spike, and it doesn't even show it correctly. You'll see, hold on, like, fuck. Hold on. Like, you see this? Like, it doesn't even show it correctly, but it looks like, hold on. Say it was up like 5,000, 6,000. See, it's not, hold on. I'm trying to get the spike of it. Okay, there it goes. Damn it. I don't know if I can do it. But anyways, it shows like up 260, 280 with like a $5,000 gain in there or something like that. Whatever it might be. So that was in 2018, 2017, I think. And that was when I did a bunch of option contracts and shorted the market. And then I made like 25 G's in like 3 weeks. And then I ended up losing a little bit of that because I held too long. So like the 25 gain went to like a 15,000 gain. And then I basically removed all the money from that account because I just boomed out. So I started with like a couple thousand and ripped it to like 25K in just a couple weeks. And then I removed all that money and took it back out, went back down to a small account, and now, you know, long story short, we're back doing the same thing with just a small account. So that random spike you saw in the middle of that chart was from a really big gain that I got from shorting the stock market in 2018. And then I cashed all that out, went back down to like a couple $1,000 account, and then I kind of had a rough period on Robinhood. You can see, here, I'll show you again, 1 second. So then you can see I had kind of like a rough moment there where I was going on a decline after that big spike in 2018. And then over the past it's really only like this past year, I've really actually been focusing on this account again. So after it kind of blew it up a little bit, I've been focusing on it more so just a little bit here and there with all these random plays. And now we're back over like that all-time high or however they calculate it. So anyways, that's my Robinhood account. So never really keep a ton of money in there. It's always just been a small dick around account. I'd be interested in seeing you do some quick scalp trades with description of what it is you're looking at during the trade. I don't even really care to scalp. Again, I don't even really, I scalp, but I don't try to scalp, right? Because good entries, like for example, let's go back and look at CARV. That was when we shorted. Okay, so this morning on CARV, when we took that short play, the reason we shorted that short play was because it went up to the price of like 1907, right? Or whatever, that line. So then we ended up going bearish here. So like, yes, if I'm going to scalp something, I'm going to take an entry where I believe a new trending move is going to start, That's how I always try to take a position. I want to take my positions in entry where I believe the market is, starting a new trend. Okay? So, if I don't believe the market's starting a new trend or we're like really making a move, then I'm probably not going to go in on it. So, scalping, what I was trying to explain the other day is like, yeah, when this move's going up, you can scalp it. You can scalp it, right? All scalping in is just you thinking something's going to go higher or lower, and you just get in and get out and hopefully make a gain. That's it. That's all there is for scalping. So when you want to see me do scalping, all it's going to literally be is me buying and me selling, and that's it, which is literally the same exact thing as I already do and you already do. But again, for me, the best entries always come, at least I found, typically a lot of times around standard deviation levels. So if I was going to scalp, then I would still take my entry at where I believe the new trend change is going to happen, because if I'm right, then the likelihood of winning is higher, and if it's a new trend change, then the likelihood of it being more than a scalp is higher, and at that point, I might as well just stay in for a trade. So I used to scalp, and scalping came from me having less certainty about the market. And so I do strongly feel that the scalping strategy is kind of tainted, because I think people try to aim at scalping because their certainty of the market just isn't that good. So there are situations where you can look at the market like, it's only going to make like a 15-cent move. I can get in for a scalp. That does happen. It does happen. And I do that from time to time. There are times where I go, okay, this market can move 15 cents, 20 cents. Spread's only this much. I could get in. If it goes to the price target, it's good enough to make money. But I'm not aiming to do that. And I do believe that anybody's aiming to do sort of scalping, and I'm sorry if it comes off wrong. I just believe because it's uncertainty of the market, so they're scared to be in the market for a long period of time because of emotional reasons, uncertainty, confidence, whatever it might be on that regard, which only keeps them in the market for a short period of time because they're scared of loss. So they get in, they see a quick gain, they get out, they make their money. They get in, quick loss, they get out, they lose their money. But they don't want to hold on too long because then it could be a big loss. And so I think it's more or less fear factors. Joe Rogan, you're not intended here, but I do believe it's fear factors that result in people aiming to scalping or trying to scalp or sticking with scalping. And I think that's just, it comes down to fear factors, uncertainty in the market, and things like that. But there are times where scalping can work, and that's like, okay, the market should go to here. There's this amount of room to get there. It's not enough for a big trade, but it's enough to make money, right? I think you can do that. But I don't think you should walk around the market, just trying to scalp little trades here and there all day long. But I do believe at times scalping does make sense when there's a little bit of a move that the market can still make. But I would say wholeheartedly, I feel that most of the reason people try to aim at scalping is fear factors and uncertainty of the market and being able to predict moves to at least a level that would allow them to stay in a move longer than a scalp. I don't really do options for the most part, but also I just thought on FYI, I did talk to my partner Dave about bringing him on to YouTube, and Brandon. So don't know exactly when that's going to happen, but do expect you will see more than this beautiful face. Not that I want you guys to cheat on me with anybody else, but if you do, I understand. They're awesome too. So I'll have Dave and I'll have Brandon joining me periodically at some points, whether it be on the stream, maybe an afternoon thing. Details are to come. But sooner here, we're going to have Brandon, who's been my partner for a couple years, and Dave, who's been my partner for a couple years at our company, that will come on. We'll do some more interactive things with you guys. But before I go down a rabbit hole, NTM or about the DraftKings option play, Dave would definitely be a wise man to ask about that. But then again, he's not going to be on as long as I am. So we will have someone here to answer some more option classes or option questions. So I will make sure to, when that happens, I'll let you know when it's going to happen. I will make a title and post announcements and streams and things like that ahead of time so that you know that he would be on with us. Okay. Is linear regression on a trading view similar to strategy? Yes, linear regression is very similar to our strategy. It's actually the same exact thing as our strategy. The only difference with linear regression is you have to pick the focal point of the regression, which makes it pretty much dumb because the stock market is constantly moving. So really that linear regression would have to be updated every second or else it's wrong. So that's a problem with linear regression, is that it's a manual thing where you go in and you manually go, okay, this is where it should go. This is like the point it should start at, and I got to run it to here, and that's it. Which it works a little bit, but it's still significantly less accurate than this, because this auto updates with every tick in the market, which other people think is a bad thing. They think, oh, they repaint. The standard deviation doesn't work because it repaints. Well, it's like, how the fuck else do you think you're supposed to calculate standard deviation if you're not calculating the freaking movement of the market as it happens? It's like, you know what? We think Steph Curry and, LeBron James are really good basketball players, but, we need to track their stats, but we're not going to track their stats, because if we don't track their stats, then it's going to be even more accurate. No. You need to track everybody who plays in the MLB, the NHL, and the basketball. You track their stats per game so that you can come out with a very descriptive detail about all the things they're good at. Points, rebound, this and that. If you didn't keep track of all those days and events and scores and points, then you would never have an accurate set of data for those players. Hence why you want the market to continue repainting the standard deviation in the market, so that way it is constantly calculating the new price action that the stock has done. So therefore, you as the investor are getting the most accurate representation of data possible. I mean, would you guys want to play, what is it called? I don't play this, fantasy football or fantasy whatever, fantasy basketball. Would you guys want to play fantasy basketball if you couldn't see the real-time stats of the players you were picking, and you wouldn't get the updated stats after the day or the next week? Would you want that? Do you think you're making a better educated decision at that point? No, you're not. So it's really not that people are mad at repaints. It's just they probably don't understand that that's the way it's supposed to work, and it's the way that you actually want it to work, so that you're consistently getting updated price. If the standard deviation channel didn't move or didn't repaint, then the standard deviation would be wrong all the time. And that's my ramble. That's my rant. Yeah, so Trader TV Live, I know them. I don't think we're ever going to get to the point where we're like that. I would imagine those guys maybe had some funding or something. Maybe they did, and I'm not sure. But they really do run a nice shop, and I just don't think we're ever going to get to that point, because my partners don't live. Well, one of them lives near me, but a lot of partners don't live. They're all out of state, so I've brought together a lot of people from out of state. So it's just not something that's probably going to happen like that to that degree. But I will say this. You guys will remember when we first started coming back on and doing streams, we were using something called StreamYard. Now, StreamYard quality was significantly less than that of using OBS, which I apologize for. But OBS is a complete pain in the ass to bring in outside users aside from yourself to stream. You can do it, but it's a lot of work to do it, and it's so annoying that I'm probably not going to do it. So I'm going to tell you that any day that we have Brandon or Dave on or a special guest, we're probably going to be working off of StreamYard, so you could expect the stream quality in terms of 1080p or whatever is probably going to be down a little bit, but I mean, I could use Zoom. Zoom's another one I could use where the quality probably wouldn't be as bad as StreamYard. So what I'm saying is, when we bring on guests, we're probably going to play around with it for the few times, whether we like StreamYard better, whether we will like Zoom better. But nonetheless, we're going to play around and see if Zoom's better, StreamYard's better, but we're not going to be using the software I'm currently using for anything of bringing on special guests. And the software I'm currently using provides the best stream quality. So we will give up a little bit of quality to have guests on, and there's really nothing more I can say about that. This just kind of is what it is. So with that being said, I apologize for it, but bear with me, right? It's the only, when you get to streaming and you stream, you'll see how complicated this all can become from the behind the scenes. We do not have a custom standard deviation for TradingView. There is only one for Thinkorswim. Why do you use Thinkorswim and not other platforms, mainly for day trading, unlike most other educators? So I don't know if you watch Meet Kevin, Graham Stephan, Ricky Gutierrez, Zip Trader, any of those guys. But if you do, something you will notice is that generally they all tend to use the same platforms in unison, right? So, and the reason for that is the trading world needs educators like me to promote their platforms to get user growth, or a really good outlet to do that. And they usually offer incentives. So generally speaking, if you see any of these really big popular guys on YouTube switching platforms, it's generally because there's been an incentive for them to use that platform, and by promoting it to you, they will end up creating more money from themselves. And that is generally the main purpose that most of them switch platforms, aside from some other features, so wholeheartedly, that's 100% the reason. So again, like if 2 years from now, Ricky Gutierrez is using another platform, he's telling you to use that, it's most likely because there is an incentive he's being provided to give that to you. 100%. Nothing against a guy, but that is the 100% legitimacy and truth behind the marketing education side of our business. So that is it. So with that being said, there is a link in the description to Webull, and if you sign up, you will get some free stocks, and I'll get some free stocks, and I will make money from that. But guess what? I just told you that, so it's like I'm completely honest. So again, there is a link in the description. Webull, free to use. If you want it, you will get 2 free stocks. But to answer your question, that might be it. So I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but I have a TD Ameritrade account. The reason I use TD Ameritrade mostly is because it's the platform that I've worked on for the longest, and I've built scripts on and a lot of strategy on. So to not use it, I would be really shitty at what I do. So that's specifically why I'm really keen on using Thinkorswim. I put a lot of effort into the system. I've used it for so long. So it's got a lot of the tools and things that I need to do my job on there. And then I have a Webull account. Webull account is really just there right now for, well, actually the platform's sick. The platform is really, really awesome, I gotta say. I do like that. But I mainly use Lightspeed for trading, Robinhood for just random little trades, Webull for a couple random little trades, but soon Webull will be used for a different purpose, which I've already explained earlier. So I have Webull, TD Ameritrade, Robinhood, Lightspeed, Trade Zero. So I have plenty of accounts, plenty. I've had an Interactive Brokers account, but if you're saying why don't I, yeah. Anyways, that's it. Love you. So I think that would probably answer your question. Do you ever enter pre-market? Yeah, all the time. OBSN Ninja. I will take a look at that. Call me Phil. I will take a look at that. I need to write that down before I forget, because I will forget. That's a guaranteed. Okay. If that saves me some time, boy oh boy, I would love it. Yes, diagonal trend lines at Thinkorswim is a one-time fee. Do some brokerage comparison videos. Okay, I will write that down. I will do a brokerage comparison video. I'll probably have to do a couple of them because there's just always so much to explain. Brokerage comparison video. Okay, I will do that for you. Ronnie, I know we've been trying. No one's ever created a good enough one, though. Yes, penny stocks are slow right now. They did go through like a phase just a little bit ago, like what was it, like 2 weeks ago. Penny stocks were ripping. Okay, so I'm gonna do something that I do all the time. Some people know exactly what I'm gonna do. As soon as I start doing it, I guarantee a few of you will comment in the chat like, "Oh, seen this before." So if you're newer, this is like this is like elementary school thinking, but it's so unique that it's like, well, why didn't I think of that, right? And it happened to me one day. I'm like, well, why didn't I think of that? And I don't even know where I learned it from. I think I was just like playing around one day, and I'm like, oh, well, let's try this. So again, Google is your friend, right? Google's like the biggest search optimization thingy search engine platform ever. So they got a lot of data you can use. So I suggest you go to Google Trends. All right, and this is literally all you have to do to figure out when penny stocks are going to be at their peak or most hot. Type in penny stocks and just look at the history on the past. You can go for a fast 5 years. You will notice that, and I'll zoom in a little bit here for you. Okay, all of your spikes are going to happen near December and January, February. So, right, penny stocks hit their spike here, January through February, fade off into April in the summer. Okay, back into November, December, they pick up, fade into summer. Back into the winter, they pick up a little bit, fade in. Then it went through a period through the 2019s where it wasn't really shit, and then it pikes up. We're at March, April, February, bloom. This one kicked and stayed through. This was through, because this would have been 2020. So this would have been like right into the pandemic. So this was a different scenario. So the data that we're getting from the year of the pandemic is it's outside of the normal standard deviation. So looking at the data from the year of 2020, theoretically, the penny stock volatility was performing outside of its typical standard deviation, which we normally see fades out by about April. Okay. Whereas in the year of 2020, we had the pandemic. I mean, the whole world was going to end. The population was going to get decreased by 50%. You were locked in your house. I mean, things were just never going to wait. No, actually, things are probably just fine. The world's going to continue on, but they didn't tell you that. So we went through this pandemic. People were locked in their house. People were laid off. People were working from home. So people were staying home, picking it up, looking at stocks. And so the penny stock market and the stock market was extremely hot through the pandemic, through the layoffs, and while people were staying at home. That's why we had continued momentum in that market throughout the summer season of 2020-ish. Faded off in basically July, August. Here we are back into February, December of 2021, and the penny stock market picks back up. And then, as you can see, March, April, we fade back out. So as history repeats itself, you can always expect basically October, end of November to beginning of October, start thinking penny stock, because it's going to start happening. And when it starts happening, it's going to be all Chinese companies. So when you wake up in the morning in November, in October, and you're seeing penny stocks gapping up, focus on the Chinese related companies, because they're most likely going to be the ones that have those ridiculous pumps. And then when that happens, you should make sure to come back to the channel, send me a thick old super chat, because that will be lit. Thumbs up. So yeah, it'll be winter, October, they'll pick up again. 100%. Do I think the Nasdaq is topping? Yeah, maybe. I mean, we're definitely trading in formations that look toppy, kind of. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't want to I hate saying topping or this. But yeah, we're into a level where I'd be less of a buyer. And I don't want to say topping. I just like to explain the market as I would be a buyer or a seller. Because then I don't have to be like, oh, it's going to top right now. But it's getting you guys in line with the way the markets typically function. So again, if the markets were down here, I'd say, no, you want to be long. Since the markets are up here, I'm not saying you want to be long. I'm saying you want to be neutral, right? When the markets dip back down here, then you're going to want to be long. When the markets go back up here, you're going to want to be neutral. So I would be neutral, which means, yeah, I'm more optimistic that the bullish move is phasing out and we're probably coming into more bearish activity. Is that in the next week, 2 weeks, 3? I have no idea, but I'm in a location where I would be less of a buyer, more of a holder, and or if I wanted to be bearish in market, then yeah, I would start considering being a seller, yes. What scanners do we use now? So if you go over to the Trading Clips YouTube channel, which you can find on YouTube, Trading Clips, we use Benzinga and we use Trade Idea scanners. And these are generally going to find us most of the stocks that move throughout the day. Occasionally, some stocks will move that these scanners don't pick up. But these, generally speaking, are all the scanners that we're going to be using throughout the day most often. So they're completely free to use. Go to that channel, make sure you subscribe, tune in every single day, help us grow that channel. That would be lit. But yeah, we use those. Those are free. You can use them. We post them there. About a 10-second delay or so, but it's free. Turn 1.7K into 225K. Probably won't be able to do that because in order to do that, I would have to over leverage the account in order to get to 25K, which would be the exact way not to do it. So in order for me to get to 1.7K to 25K within a year on, not necessarily, but to get to that level within a year, I would most likely have to leverage up trades to create big profits to do so. So it probably would not happen unless I leveraged up, which would be the exact wrong thing to do. Because there's just no way. If I trade only, and if I only trade equities, now you could do options, but if you're doing options, then you're already leveraging your bet, right? So the only way to get there is by taking excessive risk and leverage, which you shouldn't do. So we could grow the account, but it probably won't grow at that rate without leverage and extreme risk. Because again, if you're only putting 10% of your account on a position with this $1,700 account, that means we're only putting in $170 per play. You think you're gonna grow to 25K in a year only putting 170 in per play? I mean, you'd have to hit some fucking plays, but it would be chuffed, but I don't think it'll happen. So in that regard, yeah. So anyways, but that's also why we're going to be pulling up that Webull account and just having a benchmark portfolio the whole time. So that'll be fun. I think once we do that, you'll enjoy that. Mitch, that question you're asking me is basically endless. How do you pick which stocks over the day? Practice, do it for a couple years, and it'll all fall into place. There's too much. There's too much to that question. Do we have an email for your mentoring? Raphael, no. Long story short, I had to redo the mentoring, like rework it. So basically starting kind of over on that. When I originally set it up, I set it up that the student, client, customer had to fill out an intake form, and then I had to accept that, which I didn't think I had it set on that setting when I had originally set it up. So I basically had to delete that one, go back through, create a new one with the proper settings. So we don't quite have that right now. Yeah, so whenever there is a whenever there is an offering on a stock, whenever there's an offering on a stock, it's usually the company issuing more shares to raise capital to do something. So in this instance, we have Uber will offer senior notes to finance logistics deal. Okay. Yeah. So anyways, all offerings are generally there to raise some capital. If it's a senior note, then it has, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm brain farting. It's not a good word. Priority. Priority is a good word. So a senior note has priority rights as opposed to, let's say, like a junior note. Same thing with like Class A, Class B, Class C, or common stock shares, right? Common stock is the lowest priority stockholder could be on a stock as opposed to Class A shares, etc. Some Class A's and so on, you can have voting rights for the company. So as a common stock shareholder, you pretty much get no say in anything that happens with the company. You just either make money or lose money on the growth of the company. So senior notes have priority, but it's really just there for financing obligations. And then the people that are issued those notes and or shares usually have a set date and time that they're going to be able to execute those, where they could then convert them from convertible notes into, yeah. So a note, there's so much about this, but long story short, the note is issued by the company to receive funding from an investor or someone, whoever it might be, or company, all right? And then those notes, usually at a later date and time or a specific date and time, depending on the agreement, can then be converted into actual stock, and then that stock can be sold onto the market, so on. So senior notes are given priority over junior notes, and so on and so forth. If you want to learn more about that, go read the difference between senior notes and junior notes and all other notes written. But how does it affect the stock? I mean, realistically, this could be seen as a good thing, right? Uber is raising money for logistical reasons. So from an investor, we're like, shit, hell yeah, they're getting this much money and they're going to make trucks and they're going to go do this. So it could be seen as a good thing. And on the other side, people are like, oh, well, they got to finance this and that's not good. And what if, yeah. So in my opinion, I think it's a good move. 1.5 billion in 8-year yield bonds to finance acquisitions of Transplace or Uber Freight. I think it's great, right? I think Uber Freight could definitely be a turning point for the company, because if they can get a whole freight system going, the shipping industry isn't going anywhere. It's only going to go electric and automated. So if they can get in on that bus, it's a big thing. So I like the whole funding thing with Uber, personally. So the lockup period is usually for the initial public offering. Usually there's an initial public offering, or sorry, an IPO, company goes public on the market. There's usually a lockup period before insiders are able to dump their shares onto the market. So that's specifically the lockup period, or when they say the lockup period is expired. When it comes to converting notes into stock, I don't know if they actually say it's a lockup period. It's probably not, but I think it's just the date at which the notes can be converted. So again, I'm not sure if they called it a lockup period or not, but I know it's the date at which notes can be converted into actual common stock or stock. All right, you're looking at the stock ANY. A couple of you guys are. Is it on the scans? Y. So that's, yeah. Yeah, too late. Already made its move. I mean, it could still move a little bit higher, but again, your breakout move happened here, and you're looking at buying it here. And look at why it's stopping. Look at, and this is another thing, guys. The markets move from deviation to deviation. Look at, breakout happens here, price goes to here. Bounces from the white line, goes to the yellow line. Falls from the yellow, well, that happened later, might not be the case, but also that's the case. Markets move in deviations. So anyways, that's fun. My thoughts on cruise line stocks, 10 plus years, they're probably going to be priced, fairly similar to what they're priced now, maybe slightly higher, maybe slightly lower. That's about it. Yeah, I mean, well, you're saying 10 years. So we'll go to CCL and we'll give a 20-year, look at a 20-year here. So on CCL, 20 years for the time being. That does mean absolutely no good. Oh, no wonder why, because I removed that earlier. Wait, no, I didn't. It's right there, so I don't know why it's not working. That's cool. Guess that's pointless. Why would you only go to a 15-year? That literally makes absolutely no sense, but sure. Since when? Never changed that on this platform, but all of a sudden it, I guess, sure. No, that's 20 years, bud. No one's ever changed that. So Thinkorswim, I don't know what you're doing, but stop dicking around my account. So 20-year chart, CCL. Yeah, I mean 10 years. So we're going out 10. Yeah, maybe prices back to like $50 or something like that. I ended up buying Delta, CCL all the way down when they crashed. So did my sister. So, you know, when they crashed, it was just a fantastic dip buy. And I'll explain. When you look at the CCL chart on the 20-year chart, when it crashed all the way down to here, it basically went to 3 deviations. So this is kind of where we were buying Delta and CCL and trading them up in the past. So they're still a low risk buy zone. I still think they're at a good area to pick them up. All right, so this is the 20-year statistical average. The stock normally trades around 45 for the past 20 years. Now it's down at, 22. So I think there's some growth there still. Brandon, I think we were working on that, but then struggled to get it to work. But I think there was a user here that said they were able to get it to work, so we might be able to now. So anyways, kind of working on that still. Yeah, we weren't, but we're kind of working on it again. So yeah, just a thought there. I mean, overall, it's been, a pretty sideways day in the market, right? I mean, if you look at the SPY is pretty much traded flat and sideways today. Yeah, there just wasn't really a whole lot there. Let's actually take a look at AMC. What ended up happening to AMC? So AMC ended up hitting that 34.20 target, topping out, never really doing a whole lot more since then. So AMC did what we said it was going to do. Thumbs up, cool. Yeah, let's go take a look at gold. / Well, I mean, if you bought Delta and all that a few weeks ago, I mean, yeah, you weren't buying at the lowest of the low, that's for sure. Ow. So / GC gold, again, it bounced that low risk zone, and then they came back up to 1 deviation. So yeah, gold we're pretty much, you just be neutral on for right now. Silver must have gotten smacked back down. Yeah, silver's almost down at 3 deviations on the 4-hour. That's kind of impressive, huh? I will say it right now, folks, you're going to be watching silver for a bounce very, very soon. You might as well just put out a limit order to buy it rather than wait for it. You could put out a limit order probably down at 21.20s. Actually, no, I'm sorry. You can't do that because this is not financial advice. If I were going to sit here and swing trade silver, I would probably put a little entry down there at 21.31. But again, this is not financial advice. It's just entertainment. Alrighty. And let's check the daily chart. Daily chart, yeah. Does it get down there? That would be impressive. We'll see. But, yeah. Silver's probably got a bounce coming around the corner. MRIN. Yeah, MRIN went up to 647, which ironically, I have a line there. I don't think we did any analysis on MRIN, but if you look at my chart, I already have a line right at 650, and you'll see it went to 650 and sold off. So I'm assuming that when we look back at the analysis, we're going to come to find that 650 ends up being a standard deviation point. So let's go take a look. We'll take the 4-hour. Nothing on the 4-hour there. Oh, you know what? I don't even think... no, I don't think this is a standard deviation. I think it's just previous top. No, that's right. This was from the other day, and we mapped out 650 as a resistance, and MRIN would have to get above that to break out. So MRIN is still struggling previous price action resistance levels. So you ideally would be watching MRIN maybe like tomorrow to try to get up and over this mark, and if it starts failing again, it's just gonna roll down. So we tried to break up there once, rejected, came back up. This is the second attempt, so the second attempt would be more likely to break, but we still didn't break. So maybe this hesitates, stays slightly below the 650 overnight, breaks above 650 tomorrow for a run. But again, for the time being, MRIN's still struggling to get over about 650, 645. which puts a bit of a damper on your long play. No, I don't follow any block trade windows. I've never been able to look at dark pools and block trades and really make any assumption as to whether or not it's good or not. I mean, maybe I just didn't use it enough. Maybe I should retry it. I do like Flow Algo. I think Flow Algo is awesome. I mean, there's been moments where I look at Flow Algo and their options chain, and I'm like, or the order flow. I'm like, oh yeah, like this makes a little bit of sense. But yeah, I've never been able to pinpoint, like, oh, like this order is going to lead to a 10% increase in the stock. So if you guys figure it out, know somebody can teach me, or is willing to teach me or give me the secrets, bring them this way. But I don't know. Yeah, we could take a look at Amazon real quickly. Amazon, a little down on the day. Oh, sorry. So the last thing that I remember mentioning with Amazon is we suggested Amazon's buy zone started here at 3,299 and it goes as low as 3,233. Now that was, of course, probably a week ago. You will see Amazon went to the start of that box and it bounced. So again, we were right on where the start of the buy zone happens on Amazon. Now the question is, do we retrace to the low of it and then do we really bounce? So with Amazon, I do think you can still kind of stay on the long side. We might again see this down towards the 3,002 price, but for now I think you could start being long biased, but you'd have to at least allow for risk down to $3,238 currently. Yep. So you might want to wait on that a little bit. But still, I think it's in a long bias zone. Do I have money parked in hedge funds? No, I do not have any money parked in hedge funds. Well, actually, that's a lie. I don't really know if you'd consider... No, I wouldn't consider a hedge fund. I have money in Wealthfront. Wealthfront is a robo-advising company, which gives me a good return. So I have money at Wealthfront. I do have money, which was my first Roth IRA that I started, which is with T. Rowe Price, but they're also a private company. So yeah, you could argue, but they're more of a mutual fund. So I have money over at T. Rowe Price. That was a Roth IRA I started when I was 18. That should be at about 30 grand nowadays. I haven't added money to that in so long. So that was going to be like one account that I wanted to see how much it would grow like on its own with never touching it, never adding any more money. And also because I can't even add money to it anymore, my income level has exceeded an amount at which the IRS states I'm no longer able to take advantage of the Roth IRA. And long story short, I'm no longer able to put money into a Roth IRA because the IRS says that I can't. And the reason the IRS says that I can't is because it would be too beneficial for someone like me to take advantage of the tax system. So what they're saying is they don't want to quite let people get too far ahead in life. So we're going to make sure they can't. And so Connor isn't allowed to invest in a Roth IRA because he would simply just make too much money at the end of the day. He makes too much and that would allow him to make too much more. So we can't do that. And that's pretty much the reason the law is the way the law is. But this is what it is. You know what? I think we're going to end it there. It's 11:55. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll be back on tomorrow morning. Hopefully the market is slightly a little bit more active. We can get some more volatility going. But yeah, just stay tuned. I'll be back on tomorrow. As I'd mentioned, I will catch everybody back tomorrow morning, bright and early. And then as the weeks progress, we should have some new fun things coming. Oh yeah, Sean, I actually wrote that down, but I will make a brokerage comparison video for you and for whomever else, okay? So I will catch everybody back soon tomorrow morning. Other than that, keep it green, and I'll see you in the morning. Take care, guys.